Hola Seekers, this is Kim and bienvenidos to a timeless reading where there are no set dates or time frames to the messages, meaning at whatever moment in time you decide to listen and or watch these readings, the messages can still apply to you. So before I give you a moment to meditate upon the options in order for you to choose your group, I would like to share with you how this reading is going to unfold. So I will start off the reading by sharing with you what I intuitively picked up on when connecting with the energy of the group. And once I have done that, I will move right into the cards where we are going to find out what is it that you don't see coming in love and relationships, career, finances, and or studies. And last but not least, personal and or spiritual growth. So we will be looking at 3 different areas of life. And to wrap up the reading, I will pull out one oracle card to kind of get the overarching theme, message, or energy about what it is that you don't see coming. Oh, and just a heads up, I will be working with only 2 oracle decks for this reading. Some of the groups might see an extra deck, and that is because I did need a few clarifying cards. Okay, but now that you know what is going to be covered in this reading, it is time to take a closer look at the representatives of each group. Starting off for group 1, we have Dino Egg over here. I'm just calling it that because it reminds me of a dinosaur egg. But it's this cute little stone. For group 2, we have Canyon Red. I'm just making names up for them because I don't know what type of crystals or stones they are. But here's Canyon Red. For group 3, we have Cocoon. And for group 4, we have Sea Glass. This isn't actually sea glass, but it reminded me of sea glass. Though I think it looks nothing like sea glass. Okay, but here it is, group 4. As always, take as much time as you need to meditate upon these stones over here to see which one calls out to you. You can pause the video if you need more time. And once you have chosen, you can head on over to the comment section down below, as well as the description box where the timestamps for each group are provided so that you can skip right on over to your reading. Okay, but now that you have chosen, let's get right into your messages. Let's go! Hello you guys who chose group 1, bienvenidos to your reading. If you are interested to know how this reading is going to unfold, then I do recommend for you to listen to the intro if you haven't done so already, because it is there where I go over everything we are going to cover. But as always, I will start off by sharing with you what I intuitively picked up on when connecting with the energy of your group. And once I have done that, I will move into the cards. So the very first thing I noticed was that I felt like I was missing something. My hands were empty and it felt like I was supposed to be holding something in my right hand. And what I kept seeing in my mind's eye was a black obsidian crystal. And then I remembered, oh wait, I have a black obsidian crystal. So this is the black obsidian crystal. And this one is known to help serve as protection from psychic attacks or from low and dense energy. So if you currently own a black obsidian crystal, maybe you are being advised to carry it around with you whenever you do go out or whenever you are connecting with others, or you know that you are going to be surrounded by a lot of people, because when we interact with others, we do exchange energies, and we can even pick up energy from places, environments, and even objects. And if you happen to own a black obsidian necklace or a pendant, that would be even better than carrying a loose black obsidian crystal with you. Because I feel like you are being advised to carry this crystal near you, like it's supposed to be in contact with you in some way. But if you don't happen to have a black obsidian necklace or crystal with you, that is okay. The shade black in itself could serve as protection. So if you feel like you need that extra layer of protection, you could either work with a black obsidian or the shade black. Because I did just pick up on a lot of fearful, nervous, and anxious energy. A bit panicky. Yeah, so if this is how you are feeling during this time, maybe this is why I was called to bring this crystal up, because this one definitely helps with keeping that fearful, anxious, low dense energy away. And it could also be that bringing up the black obsidian is Spirit's way of letting you know that you are protected. Yeah, and I feel like your guides are asking you to relax. Your guides are asking you to remember to breathe in and breathe out. This might sound like a very weird message, but what is coming to mind is fear doesn't attract negative experiences, but it can attract more fear. Yeah, because I get the feeling that someone is fanning the flame of fear and anxiety. Like instead of trying to reduce it, they are doing more that keeps aggravating it. Which is why I feel like your guides are asking you to relax and to focus on your breathing. I know breathing exercises aren't for everyone, but it is coming up for you guys. So it could be that breathing exercises or breathing meditations could be of some assistance to you guys. So if you feel called to look into that, please do so. Because specific breathing methods can help regulate our nervous system. And I do get the feeling like some of you guys' nervous system at this moment, it's a bit triggered. It kind of feels like fight or flight mode. So yeah, just know that you are being protected during this time. But I feel like your guides are really asking for you to work with them, because they can only do so much when it comes to how you feel. No, because at the end of the day, it is us who regulates our own emotions. Yeah, so be mindful of what it is that you are doing that is possibly causing you to feel more anxious, nervous, or fearful, and see how you can reduce that. But there was another message that came to mind, which was, we are turning around. So I feel like I can interpret this in different ways. So the first interpretation that is coming to mind is that I feel this message is to reassure those of you who are moving in a new direction that you are on the right path, or that it is okay for you to reevaluate your plans or to not do things according to plan. It's okay for you to have flexibility. It's okay for you to try something new. It's okay for you to move in a new direction. The second interpretation that is coming to mind is that plans are changing for you. It feels like a last minute change, and these could be plans that you have made with someone or about a project, career, studies, travels, and so on. But I do feel like these plans are in regard to the direction of your life, because the message we are turning around felt like it was coming from your spirit team, from your spirit guides. And the vibe I got from it was that you are either experiencing some type of timeline shift, or whatever was in the works for you to experience at some point in your life has been canceled. And I feel like whatever it is that has been canceled is something that pertains to life lessons. And the reason why it has been canceled is because you got ahead of the game. Like, you learned the lesson before you even got to this experience that was planned for you. So it's kind of like you passed the test before you even had to take it. So the way that I am feeling it is that this is good news. This is a good thing, a good sign, because now you don't have to go through some hard lessons. Yeah, and for a lot of you, I feel like this change of plans has to do with a mindset shift. The feeling I get is that a lot of you have decided that struggle, suffering, and lack isn't the route for you. Like, you have decided that, you have made that choice, and it is being honored. And so that's why plans are changing. You are moving in a new direction. Yeah, so you might experience some last minute changes. You might start seeing things shifting in your life, or maybe slowing down. Yeah, depending on your situation, because if it feels like you were heading in one direction and then all of a sudden things turn around for you. So yeah, like I said, it does feel like a good thing, like a good sign. And maybe that's why you were being advised to not feed into the fear, because that's not the direction you're heading in. That's not where you are meant to go, at least not anymore. So yeah, don't let this fear, this anxiety or worry reel you in with its lies and deceptions. Yeah, because this fear almost feels like an ex-lover. It's not that it could be an ex-lover, but it's not that it is an ex-lover that is creating this fear, but I am personifying it as such. Because it's almost like you are wanting to move forward, or it's time for you to move on, but this ex-lover keeps tempting you to go back to the old ways, to go back to old situations with false promises. And it's like, no, I've lived enough, I've experienced enough to know that you are full of BS, and I'm not gonna let you get to me anymore. I'm spraying myself with a BS repellent, and I'm not allowing you into my space anymore. Yeah, but now I'm going to move into the cards. So we are going to look into 3 different areas of life, which will be love and relationships, career, finances, studies, and so forth. And lastly, we will look into personal and or spiritual growth. So we will start off with love and relationships. And we will see what is it that you don't see coming in terms to love and relationships. And this is not exclusive to romantic love, by the way. I'm going to shuffle one more time. I feel like that was a fluke. This pertains to all types of relationships. And it doesn't matter whether you're single or you're partnered. It's for everyone. So what is it that you don't see coming in terms to love and relationships? For group 1, please. 1 card for group 1. So we have the 10th house with Mercury in Capricorn. And the key term, organization. So what you don't see coming is a sudden shift in the amount of effort put into a relationship or your relationships. So let's say if you are currently in a committed relationship and you feel like there has been a lack of effort from your significant other. Oh, okay. What you don't see coming is this turnaround, where your significant other is going to start putting in more effort into the relationship. And because this is the 10th house, I do see improvement in your relationships as well. And it is because work and effort is being put into them. Yeah, because we do have bulls here, and bulls make me think of perseverance, persistence. So there is this determination to better the situation. And this determination isn't ungrounded, meaning that this isn't someone being stubborn, stubbornly holding on to something that isn't working out and isn't going to work out, or stubbornly refusing to see what needs to be worked on. This is someone being practical and level-headed about the situation. They are acknowledging what needs more attention, more focus, and they are focusing on that and understanding what needs to be done in order to improve the situation. And also, this is someone who is willing to put in the work because they do see potential, that this can work out or become something stable, something grounded, something long-term. Because that's also the vibe I get with the 10th house and with Capricorn. It's something long-term. And then we literally have wheat here, which makes me think of reaping the rewards. So whatever effort, work you put into your relationships, you are going to reap the rewards of it. This isn't fruitless labor. This isn't working hard just to work hard. So whether you are romantically involved with someone or not, I just see you putting more focus on your relationships in general, especially those relationships or connections that mean the most to you. Because the other thing that I'm getting from this organization card is that you will start prioritizing the connections and or relationships that are of great significance for you. Yeah, so what you don't see coming is you taking a moment to reevaluate and reassess. Who are my close, intimate relations and who are acquaintances? You know, like who is a friend and who is a coworker? I would say it's kind of drawing the line, creating those like distinctions and having that clarity about your relationships and your connections. Yeah, because with the 10th house being here, I feel like some of you guys might have a lot of acquaintances or a lot of people that you keep in touch with. And trying to keep in touch with all of these people is depleting you of your energy. And maybe that's why I was called to bring up the Black Obsidian, because it does feel like there is a lot of energy around you. Yeah, the other thing I got with the organization card is like being more mindful of your availability, not being so available to everyone, because like I said, what I was getting from this was prioritizing. So yeah, what you don't see coming is you taking the time to really see who are the people who only contact you when they need something from you, who are the people who only reach out to you when they have something to complain about, who are the people who are rarely there for you when you need someone. Yeah, so I see a shift in focus here, like focusing on the connections and the relationships that really do matter. You know what keeps coming to mind? The movie 13 Going on 30. I forgot the protagonist's name, and I have seen that movie so many times. But you know, when the female protagonist fast forwards to 30, she realizes that she lost contact with those who mattered to her the most when she was younger, with her family, with her friends, because she focused more on frivolous relationships, on connections that really had no depth to them. They were connections based on like personal agendas and, you know, trying to get ahead. And that could be the case for some of you. Maybe you have been focusing on surface level connections, so much so that you have been ignoring like real intimate connections or relationships that you already have. And so what you don't see coming is this shift of focus or priorities. And for some, what you don't see coming is you reaching out to people that you haven't spoken to in a really long time. And these are people that meant and mean a lot to you. The word reconciliation did come to mind, so you could be reconciling with certain people. You could be mending certain relationships or bonds. Yeah, and because the 10th house does represent career and status, it could be that maybe you prioritize your career above everything else, and what you don't see coming is this shift where you are now also prioritizing your connections and your relationships. And for those of you who are single, I do feel like you will be getting very serious about dating. I'm getting a very structured vibe from this card, so if you haven't considered dating or, you know, putting yourself out there, meeting new people and such, I feel like what you don't see coming is you gaining an interest in, you know, going out, meeting new people, dating, maybe even trying out a dating app if you've never tried it before. And because we do have Mercury here, which is the planet of communication, as mentioned before, if you feel like you have a lot of like acquaintances or connections and you need to keep in touch with every single one of them, and this has created a lot of pressure on you or even guilt if you forget to keep in touch with someone or reply to someone or keep up to date with all these connections, then what you don't see coming is you no longer feeling this pressure to keep up or to maintain frequent communication with all of these people. So what I'm getting with organization is management. You are managing your time and your energy. You are seeing that it's not necessary for you to keep up to date with every single person you have ever come in contact with or have their contact information. You don't have to burn yourself out trying to give a little piece of yourself to everyone that you know. You can manage your time, you can manage your energy. So what you don't see coming is you having this realization and knowing that you don't have to be so accessible or available to everyone. It's okay for you to have your boundaries, because you have the right to choose who has access to you and to your personal time and to your personal space. Yeah, and if you are someone who struggles with, reaching back to people or keeping in touch, regardless of how many connections or relationships you have, then again, this is you learning how to manage your time and your energy, so making space or scheduling in a time in which you sit down and you reach out to your loved ones or take a moment to call them, talk to them, text them, email them, or reply to their messages or meet up with them. Yeah, so what I'm seeing here is that you're feeling less overwhelmed. You are sorting out your priorities, as Ron Weasley would say. You are drawing those lines, implementing those boundaries, and you are seeing the rewards of your work and effort put into your relationships and also into your communications. Yeah, so if there has been a lot of miscommunication in your relationships, I do see an improvement in communication. Okay, but now I'm going to move into work, career, finances. Oops. Okay, so work, career, and finances. We have the second house again with Mercury and Taurus and the key term resistance. And we have another bull showing up in your spread. Yeah, so the planet Mercury seems to be quite dominant in this group. Yeah, so it's very possible that what you don't see coming is a shift or change in your communication skills. But the second house is the house of finances, wealth, loss, or gains, as well as possessions. So when it comes to career and finances, what you don't see coming is an interest in accounting, economics, business, or is in you being open to receiving financial advice and or guidance. Because we do have the key to resistance here. So maybe some of you guys have been resistant to ask for help in terms to your finances, how to manage it, or to apply the advice that has already been given to you. Because the bull can represent perseverance and persistence, but it can also represent stubbornness. So maybe some of you have been very stubborn about the way that you manage your finances or handle your money. Maybe some of you have been refusing to change your ways. And so what you don't see coming is a shift in how it is that you either handle your money or view money. So for example, let's say if you're not into saving, you're not into planning for the future, planning for retirement or something like that, and you don't see yourself changing your ways anytime soon. What you don't see coming is you getting into the idea of saving or planning for retirement or planning for the future or possibly even investing. Some of you could even be taking an economics course, a business course. It could even be that you currently have this mentality that in order to start a business, you need to have a degree for it. You need to go to school for it. And no one can get you out of this mindset. And so you refuse to start a business unless you first get a degree. And what you don't see coming is you starting a business before you even get a business degree. So it's something that you're being very stubborn about in terms to finances, career, and even studies. Because the other thing I'm seeing is that we do have this tree here that no longer fits in the frame because it has grown too tall. And so what that's making me think is of outgrowing something. So it could be that some of you have currently outgrown a job or a career, but you are refusing to look into something new, to move your career in a new direction, or to take a different job position. And what you don't see coming is you actually taking that leap of faith, you venturing into something new. For some, this could even be speaking about a business that you own. Maybe your business has reached a point in which it's asking for you to branch out, or is asking you to expand. Like the example that is coming to mind is someone who owns a restaurant since the 70s, and they still have the same furniture, the same appliances as then, and most of it is in bad shape. It's broken down, it needs an upgrade, but this restaurant owner refuses to remodel, and so they don't want to change anything about the restaurant. But not changing anything about the restaurant is resulting in financial loss, is resulting in them losing customers or not having any customers. And so what they don't see coming in this example is them coming into this realization that something needs to be done, that changes need to be made in order to keep their restaurant, to keep the business afloat. So it could be something like that. But the gist of all this is you trying something out that you were refusing to try out, or you were resisting. Yeah, because the other example that is coming to mind is a traditional artist who refused to delve into digital art for whatever reason. And then what they don't see coming is them actually trying digital art and loving it becoming their new art style or medium. Yeah, and again, because we do have this very tall tree, I am seeing that whatever it is that you are resisting is something that is going to bring you a lot of wealth, stability, or bring you a lot of growth. Yeah, so something that you are resisting is something that is going to bring you much reward. The other thing I'm getting from this overgrown tree is that there is something that you are very knowledgeable about or skillful at, but you refuse to do anything with it. Yeah, because the vibe I get from this is of someone who has the potential to reap a lot of rewards from something that they possess or that they innately have, yet they don't do anything to reach that potential. It could be because they don't see the potential in what they have or in what they do or in themselves, or it could be due to fear. Because with the bull being here, which reminds me of stubbornness, and then with the key term resistance, and then especially because we have a parrot here, which parrots remind me of like talking, repetitive talking, I am picking up on excuses. Excuses why not to pursue this, excuses why not to invest in it, why not to try it out, why it can't be done, why it shouldn't be done. And these excuses are not based on valid reasons, they're more based on fear, on hesitation. Because I do feel like this bull is hesitating, crossing this line. So if you feel like you have been resisting doing something with what you possess, you know, it could be knowledge, it could be skills, it could be experience, it could even be resources, is that you will drop the quote-unquote excuses and cross that line, meaning that you will give yourself an opportunity to try something with what you have. An example that is coming to mind is someone who has a lot of knowledge about tarot, yet they refuse to believe that they can give tarot readings, even though they are secretly interested in doing so. Another example that is coming to mind is someone who loves to draw, and they're really good at drawing. They have their own style, but every time they are encouraged to share their artwork or even sell it, they always come up with an excuse that they are not an artist. It's like downplaying your skills or downplaying what it is that you do or what it is that you have. And it's not so much because you don't want to try it out, it's more because you fear trying it out and failing. Like there's a fear of putting oneself out there. And so to protect thyself, several excuses are made and are held onto. And so if you resonate with this, then what you don't see coming is you actually giving it a shot, you actually giving it a go. you dropping the excuses. Yeah, but I definitely see a change in how you manage your finances or how you look at money. Your relationship with money is changing. So if you are currently fearful of money or you have a lack mentality, what you don't see coming is you not being fearful of it, being more open to receiving more, or being okay with investing or even spending. Yeah, but I definitely see a better relationship with money. What just came to mind is that some of you could even be purchasing a house or making a very big purchase, because the word that came to mind was commitment. So another big purchase that I could think of is a vehicle, a car, or equipment. Yeah, okay, but now I'm going to move into personal and or spiritual growth. So we have the first house with Sun in Aries and the key term assertion. Okay, so what I am seeing in terms to your personal growth is that what you don't see coming is you being more assertive, more confident, as well as courageous. We do have this knight who is confronting this dragon. Yeah, so if you tend to be pretty passive, or even passive aggressive, what you don't see coming, is you bettering your assertive communication skills. So this includes knowing how to stand up for yourself without feeling guilty, without insulting others, or putting anyone down. What I'm also getting from this card is a strong determination and motivation to accomplish one's goals or to see things through. Yeah, so if you at this moment feel like you don't have a clear vision of what it is that you want to focus on, or what it is that you want to work on, or what it is that you want to achieve, if you feel like you are lacking direction, what you don't see coming is you having this clarity about what direction you want to move in. The dragon is also making me think of passion, so I do see you feeling pretty passionate about something. This could be about a career, this could be about a project, a cause, but I feel like this dragon is also representing the inner fire within you, your fiery spirit. So if you don't think of yourself as a very passionate person, this could be why you don't see this coming, because I am seeing you being very passionate. Passionate to stand up for yourself, passionate to stand up for others, passionate not to keep silent about things that truly matter to you or mean something to you. I see you being quite bold and maybe even a bit fearless at times. If you currently resonate with being quite passive, like you have trouble initiating, then what you don't see coming is you being more of an initiator. You being the first to step forward or to step back. Like what I'm getting from this assertion card is that this is someone who doesn't wait for the approval of others or doesn't wait to see what someone else would do in order for them to take action or to feel certain about their choices, their decisions. They take action when they feel called to do so. They trust in themselves to make the right decision. Or most importantly, they are not fearful of taking accountability for the decisions that they do end up making. Because we can't always be 100% certain how something is going to turn out. Sometimes we have to take that leap of faith. But maybe what helps one to take a leap of faith is knowing that whatever happens after, we will be able to handle it, or we will find a way. And so that's the vibe I'm getting here. Yeah, also, if you're someone who fears challenges or you fear the unknown, what you don't see coming is you being more open to challenges, you taking the challenges head on, learning how to deal with the uncertainty and the unknown. I'm also getting a lot of leadership qualities with the first house. So some of you could be taking leadership roles. It could be at a business, at work, in school, but it could also be taking a leadership role in your own life. And the message that just came to mind is being more comfortable with your voice, or being more comfortable with hearing your voice. So I definitely do see you speaking up more and speaking louder, clearer. The other thing I'm getting from this imagery is of someone confronting their inner demons. Because actually looking at this image, I'm not getting the vibe that these two are battling it out. It's more like they are confronting one another. They are drawing some invisible line and claiming their territories. And so what you don't see coming is you facing your fears, facing your inner demons, and you standing your ground. You coming to this understanding that these fears, these insecurities, these so-called inner demons do not have power over you. That you can make a distinction between you and them. That you can draw some invisible line in order to keep them from controlling you or from it feeling that way. This is your inner warrior making itself known. So if at this moment you feel like your fears constantly overtake you and you feel powerless because of this, and you are feeling like it's going to be this way for the rest of your life, then this card here is telling you, no, it's not always going to be this way. Because the vibe I'm getting from this Knight is of someone who's had enough. Someone who has built up the courage to stand up to their bully. And then we do have sun energy here, which the sun is reminding me of the solar plexus, which is the energy center that helps build our confidence, our courage, our self-esteem. And so what you are doing right now, even though it might not feel like it, is you getting familiar with these fears, this maybe anxiety, these insecurities, these so-called inner demons, so that it will be easier to make the distinction, to draw that line, to create those boundaries, to know when it is this dragon that is making all the noise and all the ruckus, so that this inner warrior can be called upon to keep this dragon at bay. We were kind of speaking about that with the Black Obsidian, like understanding what you may be doing that is, aggravating this dragon. And so what helps with understanding that is understanding the dragon itself, those fears. What pushes this dragon's buttons? What soothes it? It could even be something like reaching a compromise with this dragon, with these fears. Compromising with this dragon would be like, okay, I hear you out. I know that you're trying to tell me something, but at this moment, I really don't perceive any danger. And I really need to get some stuff done. So I'm going to do me right now. And then if you want, we can talk later. We can reason this out if it needs to be reasoned out. So what you don't see coming is you having this self-awareness that assists you with managing that which maybe at this point you feel is unmanageable. Yeah, so it's not about destroying the dragon, but rather it is about understanding it, respecting that it is there, and learning how to live with it harmoniously. Yeah, because I feel like this dragon could even be something that you are struggling with. It could be mentally or it could be even physically. Because now what just came to mind is the phrase chronic illness or chronic pain. And I am noticing a lot of red here, which is reminding me of the root chakra, which is the energy center that helps us ground and deals with our sense of safety and security. If you struggle with feeling safe, especially within yourself, what you don't see coming is you finding that sense of safety within yourself and you feeling more grounded. I also feel like this dragon could even be representing your shadow side, your shadow attributes or aspects. Yeah, because I feel like this knight and this dragon is representing the duality within us all and how it is that duality that creates wholeness. So this is kind of reaching an inner harmony, respecting both the warrior and the dragon within you. Yeah, because I feel like this dragon acknowledges that this warrior, this knight, is to be respected. And this knight acknowledges that this dragon is to be understood and worked with. Yeah, and now the other thing I'm getting is that this dragon could be representing your passion, your instincts, and this knight will be representing your logic, your practical side. And sometimes it will be the passion, your instincts that will be keeping your logical and practical side under management, and other times it might be your logical or practical side that will keep this passion and this instinctual reaction tamed or under control. And other times it might be that both of them will come forward working together. Yeah, so just what I'm seeing here is like self-awareness. Self-awareness is about understanding, these different aspects of ourselves, identifying what is what. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing, and I think it's pretty cool, especially if you've been struggling with that. Let's see, before I wrap this up, I do want to point out the astrological signs, because those could be important seasons or time frames. So we do have Capricorn season, Taurus season, and Aries season. And then these numbers could also be representing months. So we have the number 10, which could be signifying the month of October. We have the number 2, so February, and we also have the number 1 for January. So these could be important months where these unexpected things that we just spoke about could be occurring. Yeah, and I am seeing a specific date, which is October 21st. So that could be an important date for some of you guys. And I feel called to specify that it will be in the season of fall or autumn, where you are going to feel the most abundant when it comes to your relationships and connections. But yeah, those are all the messages I am seeing with these cards. So just to wrap up this reading, I want to pull out one last oracle card to kind of get the overarching theme of what it is that you don't see coming. So let us see. One last card. Okay, so 2 cards fell out. So we have the manatee with forgiveness, surrender, and release. I was reminded of the messages that came through with the organization card about reconciliation and such, but there we have it. And we also have Pearl with uncovering lost wisdom and hidden knowledge. And this reminded me of the messages that came through with the resistance card, that there is some knowledge or skill that you possess that you may be hiding from the world or even hiding from yourself. But I do want to read the guidebook messages associated with these cards. I always like to share the guidebook messages of this oracle deck because I find them very helpful and I feel like they offer more detailed information. So, manatee. The manatee is slow-moving and docile. When we see this card, it alludes to an unnecessary weight that needs to be acknowledged and released. If you find yourself dwelling on past relationships, hurts, mistakes, or regrets, find the strength to forgive those who wronged you and, more importantly, extend that forgiveness to yourself. Understand that you are not your mistakes. Anything that happened in the past served its purpose and helped you to evolve into the person you are today. You do not need to carry this energy with you any longer. It served its purpose, now let it go. What's holding you back? So we have Pearl. Pearls represent truth and wisdom, hence the term pearls of wisdom. The humble oyster does not bear any of its hidden treasures outside of its shell. In order to determine the value of an oyster, it needs to be shucked open. With that being said, it is impossible to know how much wisdom you hold until you expose those hidden parts of yourself and look inwards. If you seek the answer to a question or the outcome of a situation, spend time reflecting in solitude. You may feel called to meditate, write in a journal, or walk in nature. The universe is sending you the truth that you seek. However, an overcompensated mind can easily get in the way of unlocking this wisdom. To find the answer, you must first clear the mental static. Oh, and I felt called to share the card at the bottom of the deck. So we have letter in a bottle with your message has been received. Okay, but these are all the messages we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or comment. If you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and a huge thank you to all of you who took a moment to watch the ads, since that is a simple way to support me and to support this channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. Yeah, but that is all for now. Wishing you a wonderful day or night, depending on when you are watching. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello, you guys who chose Group 2. Bienvenidos to your reading. If you are interested to know how this reading is going to unfold, then I do recommend for you to listen to the intro if you haven't done so already, because it is there where I go over everything we are going to cover in this reading. But as always, I will start off by sharing with you what I intuitively picked up on when connecting with the energy of your group, and then I will move right into the cards. So the message that came to mind when meditating upon this group's energy was, you are sitting on a golden egg, which means that you will soon, and I say soon because remember, this is about what you don't see coming. So you will soon be having an idea that you might take a hot minute to consider it, take action towards it, or work on it. But when you do, it's gonna reap you a lot of rewards. Because the other thing that came to mind was the word windfall. So I do see you gaining a lot of financial benefits from this idea. And it will not only bring you a lot of financial wealth, but it will also help with you establishing a name for yourself, or propelling you in your career, advancing your business, or gaining positive exposure. In other words, it will open other doors of opportunity for you. So I don't feel like this idea has come to you yet, which is why it's coming through as something that you don't see coming. And the funny thing about this is that when you do receive this idea, as mentioned before, you might take a while to respond to it or react to it, because I feel like you won't think much of this idea. Like even while you're working on it, you won't be expecting much or even anything from it. So when it does open all of these doors of opportunity for you, it will come as a surprise to you. Yeah, okay. But now I'm going to move into the cards. So we will be looking at 3 different areas of life, which will be love and relationships, career, finances, studies, and lastly, we will look at personal and or spiritual growth. So we will start off with love and relationships, and this is not exclusive to romantic love, and your relationship status does not matter here. These messages are about love and relationships in general, and they are for everyone who is tuning in or who resonates with the messages. Ooh! So we have Sun and Libra with the 7th house and the key term harmony. So it's pretty cool that the 7th house showed up for this area of life, because this house in astrology has to do with long-term partnerships, commitments, as well as agreement and disagreement with others. So I like how we have the key term harmony here, because what this is telling me is that in terms of your relationships, you will experience a lot of harmony, or the new relationships that you will be establishing in the future will be harmonious. And I know this is about love and relationships, but the vibe I'm getting from this card is that you will be feeling very at peace. And it could be because things are going so well in your relationships. Like there's no stress in that area of your life, so you can relax. It could be that for some, most of the drama or stress in your life came from your relationships or connections. And so this sudden shift could feel very unexpected, because I do get the vibe of someone awakening to a new life. Like, oh, I didn't know that it could be this way. I didn't know that relationships could feel this peaceful, that I could feel so at ease when it came to them. These birds in the background are making me think of freedom. So some of you could be freeing yourself from unhealthy connections or relationships, or you could be distancing yourself from people who disrupted your peace and tranquility or messed with your peace of mind. But what is also coming to mind with all these birds is that you are releasing the need to prove yourself to others, or to prove that you are right. Because Libra can be very logical, and It's also associated with the Justice card, which I feel is a card that can indicate a right or wrong, black or white mindset or mentality. And so it could be that when it came to your relationships or your connections, or when you connected with people, maybe you often felt like you needed to prove yourself, or like you needed to know that other people understood you, or if you had a disagreement with someone, you had to know who was in the right and who was in the wrong. Yeah, because what I'm getting from this image is someone having released the need to know how others feel about them, releasing the need to know what others think, releasing the need to know who is right and who is wrong. Yeah, because I feel like all these birds could also be representing thoughts. And I feel like for some, when it came to your relationships, maybe you overthought them a lot. Yeah, because the vibe I'm getting from this harmony card is someone having trouble connecting with others because there is a fear of being misunderstood, or there is a fear of saying or doing something wrong that might affect the connection or the relationship. And so I feel like what you don't see coming is you being in relationships in which you are not constantly overthinking what you are going to say or how it's going to be taken, whether if it's going to be misunderstood or what other people will think about you, and so forth. Yeah, because we literally have someone here who is showing up in their birthday suit. So this is about you feeling safe enough to expose yourself, to share your ideas, your thoughts, your feelings whenever you feel called to do so, without any filter. And there's such a peaceful nature coming through from this image. So if you have dealt with feelings of anger or resentment, jealousy, envy, comparison, and so forth, when it came to your relationships and your connections, what you don't see coming is you being freed or feeling freed from these very heavy and dense emotions. And I'm also picking up on forgiveness. So this could be forgiving others, and through this forgiveness, you are releasing the past or releasing the anger, the resentment, the pain, and so forth. Or it could be you forgiving yourself for things that you at one point shamed yourself about or judged yourself for it. Okay, and now I think I'm understanding why these messages are coming through for love and relationships, because I feel like the more peace that you find within yourself, the more you are able to project it into your relationships. You know, because we're kind of like a cup, a vessel. We offer what we hold within, right? And so if we are holding anger, if we are holding pain, that is what we are most likely going to offer in our relationships. But if we are holding peace, acceptance, compassion, love, then that is what we will end up offering in our relationships or to others. And so that's what I'm seeing here with the harmony card. There is an inner harmony, and because there is an inner harmony, that is being reflected in your relationships. And that is what you are gravitating towards to or attracting. So like I said, any new relationships that you will be forming will be relationships that match the energy that you are embodying and exuding, which is peace, harmony, and stability. And the 7th house is about commitment. So whoever it is that you are connecting with or are connected to will be people that are committed to you, committed to the relationship, the connection. They are people who will be loyal, because Libra also represents loyalty. And Libra also represents beauty. So what I'm getting here is beautiful connections. And spiritual connections as well, because I get a very ethereal, esoteric vibe from this image. Yeah, so I feel like this is not only speaking about your relationships with others, but it is also speaking about your relationship with yourself and your relationship with the world, because I see you finding the beauty in the world, taking a moment to appreciate it. I'm also getting a better relationship with your physical body, because again, we have someone showing up in their birthday suit, unabashed, unashamed. So I do see you feeling more comfortable in your own skin. Some of you might even start feeling more comfortable with showing your skin. And I know this message won't resonate with everyone, yet for those of you who have struggled with showing skin due to insecurities, what you don't see coming is you feeling comfortable with, showing skin or wearing certain types of clothing. Just to offer a personal example, I am very insecure about my legs, so I really struggle with wearing shorts or skirts or dresses, and I can never see myself wearing like a bikini. So like something unexpected for me will be to feel comfortable enough to wear a bikini or walk around out in the public in shorts. Yeah, so if you resonate with my example, where you have like similar insecurities or you struggle with similar things, then something that you don't see coming is you overcoming this insecurity or just not caring anymore, not giving it as much importance is what I'm getting. And then realizing that it's not so bad. Like I make a big deal about not wearing shorts, but who knows? What if I wear shorts one day out in public and then I realize like, oh, wait, it's not so bad. It's okay. I can do this. I can do this again. It's cool. I'm okay. Nothing terrible happened. Yeah, because the sun could also represent revelations. So you're kind of getting these revelations about these things that you maybe had a difficulty wrapping your head around at some point, that you really struggled seeing how it could work out or how it could come to be or how you could ever feel okay with it or comfortable with it. Yeah, and again, I'm getting it in the sense of like certain insecurities that you have. But also what I'm getting from this image is that maybe some of you have struggled with feeling comfortable with being single or doing things on your own. Like for example, going out for a walk on your own or going to the movies on your own or eating at a restaurant on your own. Or maybe you simply struggle with being in solitude. And so what you don't see coming is you starting to feel more comfortable with doing these activities by yourself, with taking yourself out on a little date and enjoying the time that you spend with yourself and in solitude. Because the sun also could represent confidence. So if you struggled with going out by yourself because you worried about what other people would think, I'm being reminded of that message. Like you try it out once and you realize that it's not so bad. You realize that people don't really care what you're up to, that people are more into what they're doing and what's happening in their own little world to take a moment to peek into your own world and start judging you. And if they do have a passing thought about you, like it won't be the end of the world. Yeah, it's like kind of releasing a lot of these things or worries that were holding you back from living your life to the fullest. And what I'm getting in specific is feeling yourself. What I'm also getting from this card is that there's no rush, there's no hurry to be anywhere, to do anything. And because this is in terms to like love and relationships, like there's no hurry to be in a relationship. There's no hurry to find someone or be with someone. Like maybe you still might desire it, but it's no longer a need, a necessity. Like I must have it or else I'm incomplete. I must have it or else I can't be happy. Like there's no more of that if there ever was any of that. This is someone who is at peace with where they are and who they are and embracing their journey as is, while still holding on to their dreams, their hopes and their longings, but no longer feeling the need to be somewhere else. And so this is someone enjoying their life and enjoying the relationships and the connections that they do have at the moment. Yeah, and I feel like these birds could also be representing people in your life, your connections, your relationships. And as you can see, there are many birds. So you will be surrounded by several people who adore you, who love you, who support you. And I don't know why, but the birds are giving me this vibe of like soulmates, members of your soul tribe. Because I'm being reminded of that phrase, birds of a feather flock together. So these are like-minded people. These are connections that are not only emotionally stimulating and fulfilling, but they are also mentally stimulating. Like mentioned, these are people that you can have honest, deep, vulnerable conversations with, where you don't have to filter yourself, or you don't have to play small. You can show up authentically with these individuals and they will meet you. They will meet you where you are at. For those of you who are in a committed romantic relationship, what I'm seeing with the harmony card is, of course, there being harmony in your relationship. I'm also seeing that if you and your significant other do everything together, or you have the same group of friends, you will feel or find this independence within your relationship. Like, for example, I see you spending time with your own group of friends, or having your own interests or hobbies that are separate from your partner. Having some alone time and not feeling guilt about that or feeling like it's a bad thing. Yes, you are enjoying time with your partner, but you are also enjoying the time that you spend with yourself. So there's that balance, of having a relationship with your partner and having a relationship with yourself. Yeah, and because we do have Sun and Libra here, if you happen to be a Libra Sun, then this could be serving as confirmation, but this could also be representing someone in your life, someone who might be a Libra Sun or who has a lot of Libra-like qualities. So this is someone who is artistic, who displays a strong sense of fairness. And I will say that this is someone who is decisive, who knows what they want, and is quite assertive. Because I know oftentimes Libra is described as being indecisive, but I think that's just, a stereotype. But if this person isn't sure about something, they aren't going to jump the gun. They might come off as impulsive when they are sure about something because they won't hesitate. They won't second guess themselves. Some people might see that as impulsive, yet this person will see that as being assertive and being confident. But again, if this person isn't sure, they won't be reckless about their decisions. They will take their time to figure things out. Yeah, and this is someone who appreciates beauty and the arts. Yeah, and this is someone who is very grateful for what they have, and they are very appreciative of their blessings and even the challenges that they have faced. So I took the time to describe this person because I do feel like for those of you who are single, you might be trying to call in or manifest who I just described, or who has a lot of these qualities. The word daydream is coming to mind. You could be daydreaming about this person. Like I said, I feel like some of you guys are manifesting a significant other. I do want to pull out a clarifying card for this because I don't want to say something that isn't. Whoops. No, one card, please. Okay. Okay, so we have the Two of Pentacles, number 18 with the woman, and we have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups represents wish fulfillment, and I feel like this lady is representing you, regardless of your sex, your gender, who you identify as, because as you can see, the message on the card says, this card represents a lady whose fortune is being told. Yeah, I feel like if you are single, you are manifesting or calling in a significant other, and I feel like this is your confirmation that it's working. Like whatever it is that you're doing, it's working. You are calling this person in. For whatever reason, I'm not getting more information in regards to this. And I feel like it's because it's supposed to be a surprise. Like how they come in or when they will come in is meant to be a surprise. It's meant to be unexpected. And yeah, this reading is about what you don't see coming. And so maybe what you don't see coming is this dream or daydream of yours, this fantasy becoming a reality. Yeah, because I keep getting like daydreams, something ethereal, something out of this world, almost like something out of a fairy tale. And so some of you might feel like what you are wanting or wishing for is something too out there, too far-fetched. And you might have a lot of fun daydreaming about this or visualizing, imagining it, but maybe you have a hard time believing that it could ever come true or something like that. Yeah, and so what you don't see coming is you getting exactly what it is that you envisioned or daydreamed about or dreamed about. That's what I'm seeing in terms to love and relationships. So now I'm going to move into career, finances, and studies. So we have Venus in Gemini, the third house, with the key term flattery. Okay, so what you don't see coming in regards to this area of life is you making powerful connections. Yeah, so you will be connecting with people that you never thought you would have any connections to. And these are people who are either very well known or well established in their career and their field of work, or have some form of high status. Yeah, because what just came to mind is like high society. The phrase rich and famous came to mind as well. So an example that is coming to mind is, let's say there is a YouTuber who you admire, who you really, really like. And not only because of the content they produce, but also because of their way of thinking, their opinions. And you've always wondered what it would be like to have a conversation, a one-to-one conversation with this person. But, it's just you wondering, like, what if? I wonder what it would be like. And then what you don't see coming is you having an opportunity to actually meet this person or have a conversation with them. And then hitting it off. You two being mentally compatible. Like sharing the same ideas, sharing the same opinions, and so forth. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. It's like you interacting with people that you never thought you would have an opportunity to interact with. And this could also be simply meeting people who are mentally stimulating. They are into the same things that you are into. Or if there are differences, the differences are interesting. You bounce ideas off of one another. And because this did come up in career, finances, and studies, these could be people that will help you network. So a lot of these people that you will be meeting could be people that you will be working with, or they will be people that will connect you to those who you will end up working with or collaborating with. And so if you currently are someone who doesn't have a lot of connections or doesn't network a lot, then this is why it's coming through as something that you don't see coming, because this does feel like a huge shift. I'm getting a lot of socializing from this card. Yeah, and so what you don't see coming is you feeling more at ease with being more social or with connecting with others. Being open to connecting with new people is what I'm getting from this flattery card. And because this is the card of flattery, there might be a lot of small talk going on. And I know that might put some of you guys off, but because we do have this fruitful tree growing out of this head with two faces, the small talk gets you into those deeper, profound, intellectual conversations. It's like sometimes we have to experience the uncomfortable in order to get to the good parts. That sounded a bit weird, but because we do have a tree here, even the seed, before it blossoms into this beautiful, abundant tree, it does start off as a seed, and it has to go through an uncomfortable phase, having to push through the soil in order to be exposed to that world above. And so what I'm seeing here is you being okay with putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations, and uncomfortable because they are out of your comfort zone. It's not because it's something that is going against like your morals or your values, your ethics and so on. It's uncomfortable because it pushes you to do something new or something different. But then it leads to somewhere better, or it leads to what it is that is more in your area. Not exactly in your comfort zone, but more in your area of, okay, this is what I like. This is what is stimulating to me. This is what I'm passionate about. Yeah, so an example I can give you, apart from like small talk, is going to social gatherings or social events. You might not like crowded places or being around people, but it is through these social events that you meet the people that will lead to those doors of opportunities or to those collaborations and so forth. And the other thing I'm getting from this card, because I'm getting a lot of like intellectual stimulation, for those of you who are students, you will find yourself having a lot of in-depth conversations or even debates with fellow classmates or colleagues. And what you don't, I don't know why it's coming through this way, but what you don't see coming is you keeping up with the conversations or being able to retaliate, like give an awesome comeback. Sometimes when we enter into a disagreement or into a debate with someone, and when we're in it, we might sometimes not know how to respond. And then after a couple of hours after the debate, when we are by ourselves, we think of the perfect comeback and we're like, oh man, I should have said that. Well, this is you thinking of that perfect comeback on the spot. Yeah, because again, we have these two people meeting eye to eye. So everyone is on the same level. Yeah, so again, if you struggle with like insecurities or comparing yourself to others, what I'm seeing here is that you're losing that need to compare yourself to others. Like you're feeling pretty confident about your knowledge, your communication, or how to express yourself. Yeah, I also see someone here being very witty. And I feel like that's you. Yeah, but if you are currently not a student and you have been thinking about going back to school, but it's only been a thought, an idea, something that briefly passes your mind, but that you're kind of, what you might not see coming is you actually going back to school or getting an opportunity to take a course. Or like I said, to meet people who are interested in the same subject as you and who have the same knowledge about the subject as you, or who could teach you more about this subject. Yeah, but that's what I'm mostly getting. For career finances, it's like networking, connections, contacts, and socializing. Yeah, so by this point when the socializing is happening, I feel like you have reached some type of like milestone. That's what I'm getting with the tree in the background. You have reached some type of milestone. I don't know why I'm not getting much in regards to that milestone, why it jumped right into like the socializing and networking, but I do feel like you have achieved something big by this point, or like something that you started has already grown and bared fruit. An example that is coming to mind, it's like someone who applied to like a university or a college or an institution, like by this point they have already been accepted into that institution, and that's why they are meeting all of these people and making these connections. Yeah, so if you are currently a student who is applying somewhere or who is working to get into an institution of sorts, like I feel like this is your confirmation that you will get into an institution of your choice. Yeah, because the two faces are also making me think of choices or decisions. Yeah, and so also you will be getting a lot of offers or opportunities. Like I said, doors of opportunities are opening up for you. So you would be needing to make a lot of decisions. Yeah, and with flattery, like you will be experiencing a lot of this flattery. And it's because people are wanting to, kind of get on your good side. They are wanting to work with you. So people are kind of competing against each other in order to get your attention. Yeah, and so you will be experiencing a lot of this flattery, and you will be experiencing a lot of attention, and that might be something new. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot. I did speak about an idea, right? And look what we have here. We literally have a tree sprouting out of this head. There is an idea that you will soon be receiving that is going to be so fruitful. Yeah, a lot of people are going to want to get in on this. So the other thing I'm getting here is just be careful with who you share these ideas with, or ideas for future projects with. Yeah, and with these two faces being here, one of the things that I see happening for you is that you will be learning how to be better at discerning who has like your best interest or the best interest in a project, and who has like a personal agenda. Yeah, and also what I'm getting here is that if you tend to be intimidated by others, what you don't see coming is you no longer being intimidated by others. There's no looking down on others or looking up to others. You're seeing people as humans. There's no putting someone on a pedestal here, which is pretty cool because that to me represents level-headedness and being grounded, not getting swept away by the moment. Okay, but now I'm going to move into personal and or spiritual growth. And we have, the 10th house with Jupiter in Capricorn and the key term control. Okay, so in terms to personal growth, I feel like this ties back to like career and finances. As mentioned, you will be gaining a lot of recognition. The 10th house speaks about social status, one's public life, career, profession, achievements, life direction, and so forth. So I do see you achieving some form of recognition, but as mentioned before, you're not allowing for this wave of attention to sweep you away. We literally have the god Zeus resting his feet on the world. So this is making me think of being grounded. So the message that came through is you are not losing your way. And what I'm getting from the key term control is a level of self-control, self-awareness. If you struggle with a fear of like missing out or losing opportunities, and because of this fear you tend to be quite impulsive when it comes to decision making, then what you don't see coming is you releasing this fear. With Zeus showing up all peaceful here, there's this feeling of you understanding or coming to understand that there is no need to rush into things, that all things have their time and their place, and that the best decisions that you have made thus far were the decisions that you made with calm. Yeah, so what you don't see coming is you feeling at ease with taking your time when it comes to making a decision. And I also get maturity from this card. So you are reaching a level of maturity that you only hoped to ever reach, but maybe you were doubtful that you would ever get here. Because I'm also getting a level of wisdom from this image. I'm being reminded of, like, maybe it's because of the white beard, of characters such as Dumbledore and Gandalf, the wise wizard, the guardian, the guide. So also what you don't see coming is you being this figure, and I do want to say public figure to many. One that offers wisdom, one that offers guidance, but without preaching. So you could be inspiring others, not through words. I mean, it could be, because some of you could be maybe like writing a book or, starting a podcast or like, sharing your voice in some way, your opinions. But what I'm mostly getting from this control card is being an example through action. And because we have Zeus resting his feet on the world, this is someone who, when they make a decision, they're not only taking themselves into consideration. Like, how is this decision going to benefit only me? They also take into consideration others. Like, how is this going to be of my highest good and of the highest good of all involved? And so there is a level of respect here for this person, for the way that they think, for the way that they view the world, for how they respect others and consider others. And again, this is representing your energy. So this is how others are seeing you. So I do see you being in the spotlight, or a lot of people having their eyes on you, or you being an influential figure. I feel like all of these cards are representing not only different areas of life, but also different stages of your life. Because this control card, I feel like it's further on into your journey, because there's an immense level of wisdom here. This is someone who has already experienced a lot, learned a lot, grown a lot. This is someone who is not afraid to take accountability and responsibility. And I do feel like what you don't see coming is you having some form of responsibility. Because we do have the world here, it does feel like a huge responsibility. There could be a lot of people looking towards you for advice or guidance, and that's a huge responsibility. You could be responsible for a lot of people. You could be the CEO of a company, or you could be a leader of sorts. Yeah, so in terms of personal growth, I see a level of maturity, a level of self-awareness and mindfulness. And in terms to spiritual growth, this does feel like reaching some level of enlightenment, a level of self-awareness. And we do have the symbol of the Ouroboros right here, which I believe represents like time or eternity. So I do see you feeling very much connected with universe by this point, as well as with your higher self. And you kind of letting go of like societal constructs or beliefs, such as, the belief that time is linear, or that we are limited to one single lifetime. Because this is you, like I said, connecting with universe. And now I'm being reminded of Avatar: The Last Airbender, of kind of being in the avatar state, connecting with your past lives, or with all versions of yourself, which is basically your higher self. What you don't see coming is you being very, very connected with your inner being, with your higher self, and with universe. This could also be representing you feeling very connected with your spirituality or your spiritual side, or you coming through as a very spiritual, enlightened individual. And if you ever felt the need to control or to have some type of control, what is happening here is that you're releasing that need, because you're understanding that more is happening behind the scenes, things that we are not even aware of. Like, to get one single outcome, it doesn't require just one person. It requires a multitude of people and interactions and actions, right? So to try to control a single outcome, it's like trying to control everything and things that we are not even aware of. It's forgetting that this world doesn't only revolve around a single individual or around us. This world is a creation of many. Yeah, so what you don't see coming is you having this better discernment of what is in your control. And it's not even what is in your control. It's more like what it is that you can do versus what is out of your control. And then you being at peace with that difference. And like I said, this energy here doesn't feel like one who is trying to control others or one who is self-absorbed. And we didn't mention that with the flattery card, someone who sees themselves in equal ground with others. No matter what achievements they have accomplished or what status they have or how others perceive them, this is someone who knows who they are. Like, other people's perception does not sway their own perception of themselves. And this is someone who is quite grounded and someone who is open to continue growing and continue evolving and who is not afraid of being wrong. That message came through clearly. This is someone who is not afraid of being wrong or being proven wrong, because this energy here is open to learning from others. So I am getting a very humble and grounded, level-headed energy from this card. And this is all you. This is all you. But these are all the messages I am seeing with these cards. So before I wrap up this reading, I just want to point out the zodiac signs, because they could be representing important seasons. So we have Libra, Gemini, and Capricorn season. And I also want to point out the numbers because I feel like they could be representing months. So we have the number 7, that could be July. We have the number 3, that could be March. And we also have the number 10, and that could be October. Yeah, so for a lot of you, it could be in the month of March in general, where you will be receiving this idea, getting this idea that we were speaking about at the beginning. But now, to wrap up this reading, I want to pull out an extra oracle card just to see what is the overarching energy of what it is that you don't see coming. Like, overall, what is it that you don't see coming? If you hear yelling, the kids next door are out playing. It's them. Okay, but let's see. Oh, that was fast. And we have the lighthouse with the message, when the seas are rough, search for the light, and light worker. And we were speaking about being an inspirational figure to many, of maybe being the one that other people go to for guidance or for advice. And I feel like that's being further confirmed with light worker. Okay, but I do want to read the guidebook message that is associated with this card. So we have lighthouse. Before navigation systems, sailors had to rely on the lighthouse for guidance. The lighthouse has weathered many storms and continues to stand tall as a symbol of hope and perseverance. If this card presents itself to you, you are being reminded to have a positive outlook despite the challenges life hands you. You may also consider yourself a light worker. A light worker is someone who comes to Earth with the purpose of uplifting humanity. Like the lighthouse, you're shedding light upon someone else's darkness or guiding them out of a storm. You are here to help the world in your own unique way. Do not dim your light to fit in, because others are counting on you to shine bright. And you will be shining bright. Okay, so these are all the messages we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. If you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Yeah, but thank you so much for watching. That is all for now. Wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you have tuned in to this reading, and until the next moment, bye bye. Hello you guys who chose group 3, bienvenidos to your reading. If you are interested to know how this reading is going to unfold, then I do recommend for you to listen to the intro if you haven't done so already, because it is there where I go over everything we are going to cover. But as always, I will start off by sharing with you what I intuitively picked up on when connecting with the energy of your group, and then I will move right into the cards. So when I was meditating upon this group's energy, I did sense a mix of both nervousness and excitement, and the word anticipation did come to mind. So some of you could already be anticipating that something is about to come or something is about to happen, and it is because you are picking up on a shift in the energy. But maybe you are feeling both nervous or excited because you are not so sure what it is about. Like, what is about to change? What is about to come in? What is about to happen? And seeing that this reading is about what you don't see coming, I do feel like you're not supposed to know what it is that is coming in for you or what this shift is all about. Spirit wants to keep it a surprise for you. But you know, we have yet to still pull out some cards, so I'm sure we'll get some info or a sneak peek as to what this is all about in the cards. But what I can say is, whatever this shift is about, it is something that Spirit, your guides, is anticipating with you. And they are making it seem that this is something major, this is something huge, or at the very least, it is something very important to you. And they don't want you to forget how it felt to anticipate this. Because the message that came to mind was don't forget. And as I was trying to figure out what they didn't want you to forget, the message don't forget this feeling came to mind. Yeah, so it almost feels like Spirit, your guides, they want you to enjoy this experience. They want you to enjoy the unfoldment of whatever this is. And they also want for you to pay attention to how you anticipate the changes or shifts. They want for you to become aware of how you pick up on energy, and that you do have this ability to pick up on energy. Yeah, it's almost like they want for you to start becoming more familiarized with your sensitivity or with your intuitive senses. And also, I feel like the reason why they are reminding you to not forget is because there might be an interval between when you start feeling this anticipation for something or pick up on this shift in energy and when things do begin unfolding for you. Yeah, so it feels like between now and then, you could be forgetting that at some point you were anticipating whatever will be happening for you soon. Yeah, so it's kind of like Spirit is saying, don't forget that something major is about to happen. Don't forget that something is about to shift. And of course, this does feel like a positive shift, something that possibly you have been looking forward to. Or as mentioned previously, this is something that you would deem important or significant. Okay, the last message that just came to mind is enjoy the magic of the unfoldment. Yeah, okay. But now I'm going to move into the cards. So we will be looking at 3 different areas of life, which will be love and relationships, career, finances, studies, and lastly, we will look at personal and or spiritual growth. So we will start off with love and relationships, and this is not exclusive to romantic love, and your relationship status does not matter here, since this pertains to all types of love. Okay, but let's see. Love and relationships. What is it that you don't see coming? Ooh, this card fell out for group 2, I believe. Okay, several different messages and interpretations are coming to mind when it comes to this card. So I will start off with the message that I feel will apply to everyone who chose this group. And that is, what you don't see coming is you meeting people who share the same interests as you and the same level of enthusiasm for your shared interests. So these are people who you will have very stimulating conversations with. And if there are differences between your dislikes and likes, these differences won't be a turnoff. On the contrary, they will be very exciting to you. Because with this tree growing out of this head with 2 faces, what I'm getting is being enlightened about something that you didn't know, learning something new. Yeah, because with the key term flattery here, the overall vibe I'm getting when it comes to your relationships is that there is a mutual interest. So you are genuinely interested in what the other has to say or to share, regardless if you resonate with it or not. And this is a reciprocal energy. Yeah, and I also feel like these are people that can keep up with you. They have the same style of communication as you, or they get or understand your communication style. Yeah, because I am picking up on like witty banter going on here. So there's a lot of like back and forth. The conversation can flow very easily, very smoothly. There's almost no hiccups. And if there is miscommunication at some point, because I am seeing it with these 2 faces facing away from each other, because there is a mutual, genuine interest in wanting to understand one another, you take the time to reach out to one another in order to find clarity. Yeah, so for example, if the other person says something that you felt was offensive or hurtful, instead of just keeping silent about this, you let the other person know, hey, what you said was hurtful to me. Why did you say that? Or what did you mean when you said that? What was your intention behind what you said? And that gives the other person the opportunity to either clarify or become aware of what is a sensitive topic for you or how they can better communicate things to you and so forth. Yeah, so there is a wanting to learn from one another, to understand one another. I don't feel like these are relationships that are okay with going to bed angry at one another or spending days feeling confused about what the other said or didn't say or what they meant. Yeah, these are relationships or connections that don't shy away from open and sincere communication. Yeah, so if you feel like your current relationships struggle in the communication department or there isn't a lot of open communication going on, yeah, this is something that you don't see coming, this shift in communication style and how you talk to one another and how you approach misunderstandings or miscommunications. Yeah, and with these 2 faces here facing away, what I'm also seeing is being okay with silence, being okay with not speaking for a while and not taking that as an offense or as a sign that there is something wrong in the relationship. Of course, this is not referring to the silent treatment or the cold shoulder, because that's something entirely different. I feel like that creates even more stress or misunderstanding in relationships. So that's not what this is referring to. I feel like this is more about like knowing when to take a time out, you know? Like for example, if you are having a heated disagreement or argument, it's kind of knowing when to step back. You know, some people like to have those deep conversations on the spot when emotions are high, but others, they prefer to take a step back, to retreat for a while so that they could feel through their emotions first, ground, make sense of things, so that they will feel more level-headed before they have that in-depth conversation. You know, so it very much depends on the person. And so what I'm seeing here is that understanding that, you know, every person is different and some might need some time off or some time to themselves before they have this intimate or vulnerable conversation. Yeah, so basically what I'm seeing here is you being in relationships where your needs are respected, where you are able to give each other the space that you need and are asking for without taking it as a personal offense. And again, this isn't talking about the cold shoulder or the silent treatment or indifference, because we literally have two faces in one head. So I feel like this is representing that there could be times where you're seeing things in a different point of view or have a different perspective about things, but that isn't necessarily creating emotional distance or actual separation between you two. There is still closeness here, but there is an acknowledgement that there are differences in perspective. And maybe this period of like taking a time out, like each person going into their own room to kind of simmer down, could be in order to try and understand the other person's perspective, so that when you do come together again to have that conversation, you don't necessarily have an unbiased view. You are taking the other person into consideration in order to come to some agreement or understanding. Like you could even come to this point where you agree to disagree, and that is perfectly fine. Yeah, because I feel like the other thing that you don't see coming in terms to your relationships and connections is that when it comes to disagreements, there doesn't have to be someone who is right and someone who is wrong. Like it's okay to come to this point in which you would agree to disagree. Yeah, because in this image here, we literally have two people seeing eye to eye, even though they are showing up as individuals. Yeah, and I feel like there's also this understanding that it's okay to have disagreements from time to time. A perfect relationship or connection doesn't mean that you never have disagreements or that you never argue. Yeah, because, well, maybe this is only my point of view, but I feel like the point of a healthy relationship is whether you want to work things out, whether you put in the effort when there are those disagreements. And not feeling like you need to change your entire personality or core essence, your morals, your values for the other in order to be on the same page as them. Because again, this is respecting that you are each individuals. Yeah, because with this tree in the background, which I feel symbolizes health and longevity as well as stability, I am seeing stable, healthy relationships. Yeah, so if you've been struggling in your relationships, or if you have thus far only experienced unhealthy relationships, then maybe this is why it's showing up as something that you don't see coming, because this is a huge shift. But the other thing that I am picking up on from this card, because we do have Venus here, and then the third house is about communications. There is something here about love languages. So you could be meeting people who share the same love language as you, or who are very understanding of your own love language. Like, again, if there are differences in love languages, you make these differences work, or they work together. It's like two pieces in a puzzle, they fit together. Yeah, so I do feel like you will be meeting people who you, like, they complement you and you complement them. But with these two faces in one head, I'm also picking up on telepathy. So yeah, I do see you experiencing telepathy in your connections, where you kind of just know what the other person wants to say, or what the other person wants or is thinking without them needing to tell you. And that could be a new experience for a lot of you. And I feel like where you will be experiencing this telepathy with is with your closest relationships. So what I'm seeing here is either with a romantic partner or with a platonic partner. So a best friend or a family member, someone that you have a close relationship with. Yeah, because I feel like the closer the bond, the more you are in sync with one another. Yeah, so you could be experiencing something like you're thinking about this person, and then all of a sudden you receive a call from them, or a text message from them, or maybe you're thinking about sharing a YouTube video with this person, and then 5 minutes later they text you with a link of that same video that you were planning to show them. Something like that. Like, you're often on the same page. When you think about them, they're thinking about you, and vice versa. Now, the other thing that you don't see coming is you sharing something in common that is very specific, very niche with someone. So it could be something like you both specifically love reading works from the same author. And so when you meet up, you could just go on and on about this author and their works. And this is something very, very special because this common interest isn't exactly something that you will be able to have with just about anyone. So you truly value this. It's something like that. But I do see you spending a lot of time with this person doing things that you both enjoy and that you both like and that you both have a lot of knowledge about. Yeah, and then these two people here literally have the same wreath with a star on it. So I'm seeing a special connection, but especially a mental connection. You might even feel a sense of familiarity with this person. You might even feel like they are a member of your soul family, or they are a soulmate of yours, or they are simply a kindred spirit if you're not into that whole soulmate thing. Let's see, what other thing? Oh yeah, okay, so the following message will be for those of you who are single, and more specifically, who are interested in dating. Yeah, because I am seeing you meeting different people, maybe having a few flings here and there, but of course, it's only if you are interested in that. Yeah, so for those of you who are not really interested in commitment at this moment, are more interested in dating around, getting to know people, and so forth, I do see that happening. And maybe what you don't see coming is that you will be very upfront about this, or the people who you end up connecting with will be people who have the same mentality as you, who are kind of looking for the same thing as you. And so you are on the same page with them. And so this could also be a heads up to be upfront about what your intentions are, what you are looking for, because it would be easier for you to find people who have the same intentions as you, who are looking for the same thing as you. Okay, that was a very specific message. And there is another specific message for my single people who are looking for commitment. Whatever it is that you have been envisioning when it comes to what you want to experience in a romantic relationship or connection. And you know what? This could even pertain to a platonic relationship. So for those of you who have been trying to manifest a best friend, this message also applies to you. So again, whatever it is that you have been envisioning when it comes to this connection relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic, that is exactly what you are manifesting. Because again, we have a tree sprouting from this head. So it's your daydreams, your ideas pertaining to this relationship or connection is what is manifesting for you, is what you will be experiencing. And because we do have two faces here, I do feel like what you are attracting is also attracting you. Or more specifically, who you are attracting is also attracting you. Yeah, so you could be actively manifesting or calling this connection in, or you could simply be daydreaming about it, fantasizing about it. And whatever you've been daydreaming or fantasizing about is what is coming in for you. But I do feel like whoever you are aligning with or attracting is someone who you do have a telepathic connection to. So you might be experiencing that telepathy pretty soon if you haven't experienced it already. And I feel like that's why you are able to be on the same page, because it's you are able to see what this person is envisioning when it comes to this connection. And it might even feel like your own idea, but it's actually this other person. But they are so in alignment with what you want that they feel like yours. And it's the same thing is happening to them. And so I feel like that just helps with you aligning more and more with one another. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing when it comes to relationships and connections. Okay, but now I'm going to move into career, finances, and or studies. And we have the 6th house with Sun in Virgo and the key term health. Okay, so what is coming to mind right off the bat is that what you don't see coming is you having a healthier relationship with this area of life. Yeah, so if you are currently struggling with finding a balanced work-life relationship, then what you don't see coming is you finding that balance. Yeah, the 6th house in astrology is about the day-to-day, our lifestyle, routines, habits. And this card is indicating healthy habits, a healthy lifestyle. Yeah, so what you don't see coming is you living a very healthy lifestyle. Like, what I'm getting from this card is someone who is prioritizing their well-being or their health over everything else. And that results in them being able to better show up for their other areas of life. Yeah, because I feel like some of you could have experienced a point in your journey where you were working yourself to the bone, where you were constantly experiencing burnouts, or your work was becoming very stressful to you. You were struggling to manage your time, or you felt like you were constantly running out of time, like you didn't have enough time to do all the things that you needed to do. And maybe you found it difficult to see how things would ever change for the better. Yeah, and so that's why this is showing up as something that you don't see coming. Yeah, because this does feel like a 180 shift. Because with the sun being here, it's making me think of new beginnings, a new day, a new dawn. And then with Virgo being here, Virgo is very disciplined, very organized. They like to see that everything is being taken care of. But what I'm seeing here with this image is that you're not only looking to see that everything and everyone else is taken care of, but you're also putting yourself in the picture. You're also seeing that you are being taken care of. And since we do have these people literally taking care of this person in the center, I do see you being well taken care of. And because this is showing up in career, finances, I can interpret this in different ways. One interpretation that is coming to mind is that what you don't see coming is you having enough financial resources to provide for your basic needs, as well as give yourself extra love and care. So like having enough money to go to the doctors whenever you need to go to get your physical checkups, as well as having enough money to go to a spa retreat or get a massage from a masseur. Yeah, because I definitely see you pampering yourself, you providing for yourself. Now, the other thing I am getting is that for those of you who work a 9-to-5 job, what you don't see coming is you finding a job or working at a place that gives you amazing benefits. Where you will be working at is somewhere that cares for their employees, is somewhere that looks to see that their employees are being well taken care of and are willing to hear out what your personal needs are and do their best to meet those needs. Yeah, so this is a place that is wanting and willing to work with you. Like you are able to reach some type of agreement with them. And so you don't ever have to compromise your health or your well-being for the sake of the job or the work or the company and so forth. Another interpretation that is coming to mind, and I feel like this will be for those of you who are self-employed or you are business owners, what you don't see coming is you having support. So this could be either you have reached a point in which you are able to employ others to do certain tasks or jobs that were maybe taking too much of your time and or energy. And so you are able to now focus on the things that you want to focus on and have like extra time for yourself and your personal life and your personal matters. Yeah, because for those of you who are self-employed, you know that if we don't manage our time very well, we can be working from the time that we get up to after midnight. So because there isn't a set schedule for us, we can lose track of time. And so what I'm seeing here is better time management. And I feel like you're better able to manage your time because you can now divide the workload. And so there isn't 1 or 2 people trying to do the job of 10 people, right? Now there are the 10 people to do each individual task that is needed to get done. Yeah, but I definitely see you finding some work-life balance and it working very well for you. You feeling a sense of relief, not feeling overwhelmed, not feeling overworked. You finding a schedule that works for you. Yeah, and for those of you who are students, what I'm seeing is that you will be finding a support group or a support system. Like, for example, if your studies have been stressing you or you struggle with anxiety, I feel like what you don't see coming is you finding the help that you need. So again, it could be a support group, a support system, or it could be something like finding a form of therapy that really helps you, or finding a counselor, a guide, a mentor that is able to assist you, is able to provide you with advice or guidance, clarity, because the sun could also speak about clarity in regards to what is triggering this anxiety or this stress or these worries when it comes to your education, when it comes to your career, when it comes to your studies. Yeah, some of you could be finding certain study methods that really work out for you, like they really suit you. Yeah, but I definitely see you receiving the support that you need or the clarity that you need in order to find this balance, in order to find this stability. Some of you might even be getting like actual financial aid or help if like the reason for your stress, your worry is a lack of finances. But the last interpretation that is coming to mind from this card is that whatever work you are doing or career that you are focusing on or whatever subject that you are studying, it's bringing you a lot of fulfillment, because we literally have this person in the center being watered. So I'm seeing that as being fulfilled. And the sun can speak about joy, happiness, fun. Yeah, so it is something that excites you. It is something that you are passionate about, that feeds you intellectually, emotionally, spiritually. It might even inspire you to take better care of your health. Yeah, so for example, this could be a therapist or a counselor who is also taking care of their mental health by going to therapy or counseling themselves because they want to show up for their clients. Or this could be something like your career, your field of work, what it is that you do requires for you to be healthy. So what I can think of is an athlete, An athlete needs to take care of their body in order for them to do what they do. Or another thing that is coming to mind, because we do have the sun showing up here, which is reminding me of the zodiac Leo, and Leo can sometimes indicate an artist, a performer, an entertainer. This could be a singer who needs to take care of their voice in order to give their best performance. A performer who's going to be performing for several hours needs to take care of their health because they are exerting a lot of energy. It's something like that. And we do have a star here, which it's reminding me of the star card, which again is making me think of someone who could be a performer, could be an artist, could be an entertainer, someone who is in the public eye, someone who deals with a lot of people, someone who has to give a lot of themselves constantly. And so they have to make sure that their cup is being refilled, because they are pouring out so much, they need to make sure that they are being filled up again. So making sure that they are getting enough hours of sleep, making sure that they are eating well, that they are hydrated, that they are getting enough vitamin D, because we do have the sun card here. Yeah, so for those of you who work at home or you spend a lot of hours indoors, you could be understanding the importance of getting some vitamin D or getting actual sunlight. Yeah, because I'm seeing sunlight, going outdoors, hydrating, eating well, eating healthy, having balanced meals, not skipping meals. Yeah, so those are all things that you can expect to be changing pretty soon, where you're finding a balance in those. You are taking care of your basic needs. Yeah, and overall, I just see you feeling very healthy and being very healthy, not only physically, but also mentally and spiritually as well. Yeah, and I think that is coming from this fulfillment that you are getting from whatever it is that you are doing or studying. Okay. But now I'm going to move into personal and or spiritual growth. And we have the 9th house with Mercury in Sagittarius and the key term discovery. Okay, so the first thing I got from looking at this card is travel. or traveling. So some of you could be traveling and learning a lot about yourself through these travels. Because we do have the key term discovery, and I feel like this is talking about self-discovery. So some of you could be traveling to places where you had past lives in, or that are connected to your family history, that are connected to your ancestors. And so you could be learning a lot about your ancestry, your family, about your culture through these travels. But I didn't mention past lives, so if you believe in past lives, if you resonate with that, I do see you having some type of aha moments when visiting certain places. You could feel a familiarity to these places or have this type of understanding about why you are into certain things, like for example, why you always had an interest in traveling to this country, to this state, to this city, to this place. And it's because once you are there, you feel at home, or it does feel very familiar to you. But you could be getting flashbacks of past lives, or you know what, you could even be meeting people who you will feel this strong sense of familiarity with them. And it's because these are people or souls who you shared other lives with, or these are people who you share some type of soul connection to, like they could be members of your soul family, your soul tribe. I just looked at this ferry in the background and New Orleans came to mind. So maybe some of you are called to visit New Orleans. If so, this could be serving as confirmation that you should look more into that. But the 9th house is the house of philosophy, religion, beliefs, higher learning, academic subjects, foreign culture, overseas travel, and it's also the house of sports. I did speak about like athletes and sports when interpreting the health card. So for those of you who are athletes or who are aspiring athletes, your career or your interest in sports or athletics will lead you to travel. Yeah, so this could be traveling for sports competitions, or it could be, I don't know much about sports and such, so if I say something that is incorrect, I apologize. But this could be something like signing into a team, or signing in with a coach or a trainer, or a training school that is abroad, and so you have to travel because of that. Yeah, but because the 9th house is also the house of higher learning, you could be traveling due to your studies or your career. So, for example, let's say you applied to college or an institution that is abroad and you end up getting accepted, so you have to travel. Or let's say you are a researcher and you need to research something that is abroad, so you end up traveling because of that. Or if you are a teacher or a professor, you might be asked to do a lecture at a campus that is abroad, and then you end up traveling because of that. So there's different scenarios that I'm being given here, but the point is that I do see you traveling and traveling far. Yeah, like I do feel like it will require for you to travel on plane. And I do see there being a lot of self-discovery, a lot of self-growth occurring because of this travel. And it could simply be because you being in a new environment will kind of trigger new aspects of yourself. You know, because sometimes when we are in the same environment for a long period of time, we can become comfortable. We can show up the same way every day. And so a change in the environment can really shake things up for us and can call upon new aspects of ourselves, new perspectives, new ways of thinking, new reactions, and so forth. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. And because the 9th house is the house of philosophy, religions, and beliefs, I do see you being open to new ways of thinking, to new philosophies. You could be learning about new religions, and it's not necessarily that you will be changing your religion. I mean, it could be, but it doesn't have to be. It simply could be that from knowing about this new religion, you are open to new ways of thinking. Maybe you are inspired to question old belief systems or to open your mind to other possibilities. And it kind of widens your perspective or your perception of things. Yeah, because seeing this map here, it's making me think of like a wider perspective or a higher perspective. And so it's like not only your external world is expanding, but also your internal world. You coming in contact with these new cultures, new religions, new philosophies, new languages is helping to expand your inner world. It's helping you to connect with new and different aspects of yourself, like new passions or hidden passions, or it could be helping you to connect with your Akashic records. So again, like your past lives, your inner wisdom, your inner knowing. Yeah, so what I'm seeing here is exposure. You are being exposed to things that are triggering something within you. Could be triggering healing, but I feel it has to do more with self-discovery. Like, oh, I didn't know I liked this. I didn't know that I was so interested in this. I didn't know that I would be so passionate about this. I didn't know that this felt so familiar to me. I didn't know that this means something to me. I didn't know that I would like to learn more about this or that I cared about this, and so forth. Yeah, some of you could even end up discovering a place that you will want to settle down in. I'm getting this feeling of someone who never really felt at home where they grew up in or where they had spent most of their life living in, but then they travel, they visit this new place, and then immediately they feel at home there. They feel that sense of coming home. It opens something within them. It changes how they see the world or how they connect with the world, or it changes how they feel about themselves in relation to the world. Like, oh, I do belong here, or I do have a place in which I belong. The word established came to mind. So for those of you who haven't quite yet figured out what you are truly passionate about, or what you want to dedicate more time of your energy learning more about or studying and so forth, I feel like that discovery card is indicating that what you don't see coming is you finding something that you feel passionate enough about to invest your time and energy in. Maybe even to relocate for it or start a new life because of it. Yeah, and we were speaking about like a new lifestyle, a new beginning with the health card. And I do get that similar vibe from the discovery card. Like discovering a passion or discovering a new passion, a purpose. And it kind of shifting things completely for you. And we were speaking about a shift. So this could be like a major life change. Like relocating in itself is a major life change. So some of you could be relocating, or yeah, I'm even sensing like a personality change. Like you're not the same person that you used to be. Yeah, but I am getting self-empowerment from this discovery card. Someone who has a better understanding of who they are, has a better understanding of themselves. Oh, and with Mercury being here, I do see you making a lot of acquaintances that have a different cultural, maybe even religious background than you, or who live at a distance from you, or will be living at a distance from you at some point. Because like I said, some of you could be moving or even relocating. And some of you could already be communicating with people who are at a distance from you. Because what is coming to mind is like emails, texting, DMing, video calls, Zoom calls. Yeah, but those are all the messages I am seeing with these cards. So now I would simply like to point out the zodiac signs that we have here, because these could be representing important seasons. So we have Gemini season, Virgo season, and Sagittarius season. Because we do have Sun in Virgo here, some of you could be a Virgo Sun. If so, this is serving as confirmation that this is your group. But if not, this could be indicating that Virgo season in specific will be of great significance. But I would also like to point out the numbers, because these could be representing important months. So we have number 3, that would be March. We have the number 6, so that would be June. And we have the number 9, so that would be September. And I do want to point out a window of time. So from March to September, you could already be experiencing some of these shifts. And notice that I'm not giving any specific year because this is a timeless reading. So I'm focusing more on the seasons and the months. So if you feel like you're past this window of time for this year, then it could be speaking about the year to come. Some of you might have been born in the month of June. I don't know why I felt called to point that out, but there you have it. Okay, but to end this reading, to wrap it up, I would like to just pull out one extra oracle card to kind of get the overarching energy or message of what it is that you don't see coming. So I will be pulling out a card from the Salt and Sea Energy Oracle deck. One card, please. Whoops. So, ooh, and we have Sailor's Knot with entanglement, energetic cords, ties, and bonds. Yeah, so the first thing that came to mind with this card is, spiritual connections, soul connections, such as soulmates, soul family members, and we were kind of picking up on that with the Flattery card and the Discovery card. With the Sailor's Knot, it's also making me think of feeling this strong connection to a place, a location. Yeah, which was mentioned with the Discovery card. Yeah, the other thing I'm getting with Sailor's Knot is a contract. So some of you might be signing with someone, with a company, an agency. But I do want to read the guidebook message associated with this card because I have been doing that with the other groups. So we have Sailor's Knot with, like a sailor uses knots to tie pieces of rope and boating gear together, the universe also uses invisible strings to tether you to certain people and situations. These invisible strings are called energetic cords, ties, and bonds. These connections typically reveal little on the surface, but deep down they affect you on a soul level. We establish energetic ties before we reincarnate so that we can learn from them while on Earth. Depending on the context and relationship, these bonds are referred to differently. Some examples include soul contracts, ancestral ties, past life ties, karmic cycles, karmic partners, soul mates, soul families, soul tribes, and so on. Any significant relationship, challenge, or success you've had in this lifetime has been tied to you before birth. Okay, so these are all the messages we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. If you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Yeah, but thanks so much for watching, and a huge thank you to all of you who watch the ads, since that is the most simplest way to support me and to support this channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. Yeah, but that is all for now. Wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching this video, and until the next moment, bye bye. Hello you guys who chose group 4, bienvenidos to your reading. If you are interested to know how this reading is going to unfold, then I do recommend for you to listen to the intro if you haven't done so already, because it is there where I go over everything we are going to cover. But as always, I will start off by sharing with you what I intuitively picked up on when connecting with the energy of your group, and then I will move right into the cards. So first things first, what you don't see coming is that you will be overseeing something. This could be a project, this could be a business, or this could be a team. Yeah, so I do see you taking some type of leadership role. Now, the other thing that came to mind when connecting with this group's energy is that you will be taking a lot of inspiration from something. Now, I didn't get much information about what this something is. All that came through is that you will be taking inspiration from something. So it could be a thing like a work of art, a video that you happen to stumble upon, or a podcast, a work of literature, something that you see when you're out and about, or it could be someone, a person, someone that you personally know, or an artist, a public figure, or a historic figure. Yeah, so maybe this is a message of hope for those of you who have been lacking inspiration, or you have been looking for inspiration or a muse. Just know that you will be having this source of inspiration. And because this is a reading about what you don't see coming, this might be an unexpected source of inspiration, or this source of inspiration enters your life during a very unexpected time. Something like that. I am picking up on a bit of a nervous energy. It could be that some of you are currently nervous about something, or this could be very similar to group 3, as in this nervousness is representing an anticipation for something. Yeah, and all I can get from this is that you will be creating something. I feel like I am picking up on an energy of the future. Like, this is your nervous energy from the future. Yeah, because what is coming to mind, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, is someone waiting behind the stage, kind of pacing back and forth because they're about to present something, or they're about to perform, or they're about to receive an award. Yeah, so I do feel like you guys will be creating something or doing something major, or you will be assisting in the creation of something, because I did get teamwork, like overseeing a project or overseeing a team at the beginning. So yeah, so what you don't see coming is you being part of something big, something that will be acknowledged by many. Yeah. Oh, and what just came to mind was the word valedictorian. So for those of you who are students, or you are planning to go back to school or go to school, yeah, what you don't see coming is you being top of your class or top of your year. I have a shelf of books right in front of me, and I just noticed that I've been staring at it. I'm staring at the books on the shelves. So for some, the thing that you will be doing or creating or helping to create could be a work of literature. You could be writing a book, a novel, publishing a research paper, or you could be helping someone publish a book that will end up being a bestseller or very successful. Yeah, okay, yeah. I feel like that's the last message. So now I'm going to move into the cards. So we are going to look at 3 different areas of life. Oh, I just got dizzy all of a sudden. My eyes keep wandering. I just keep looking around my room. Yeah, some of you might be in the science field. You could be researching something, and what you don't see coming is you discovering something that will really impact your field. Whatever you guys are doing, it's something quite impactful, or that impacts a generation or impacts a group of people, like in a positive way, creates a positive impact. Yeah, now I'm just looking at paintings that I did. So this could even be a work of art that you're sharing that gets put up in a museum, or ends up being interpreted or analyzed by many. Okay. But we are going to look at 3 different areas of life, which are love and relationships, career, finances, studies, and last but not least, personal and or spiritual growth. And we will start off with love and relationships, and this is not exclusive to romantic love. So we have the first house with Sun and Aries and the key term assertion. So this card came up for another group. I don't remember what group it was. I think it was group 2, I'm not sure. But it came up for a different area of life. Yeah, so some of you could have a Aries sun, and if so, this could be serving as confirmation that this is your group, or someone who has an Aries sun or has a lot of Aries-like qualities could be playing a very significant role in your life, and maybe this is something that you don't see coming. But this card is here to represent the overall energy when it comes to love and relationships. So the first thing that came to mind is that what you don't see coming is you being very forthcoming in your relationships and connections. Yeah, so if you tend to be quite passive or even passive aggressive, or you tend to keep quiet about what you truly feel. Then what you don't see coming is this shift where you are not hesitating to let others know how you truly feel. Yeah, what you don't see coming is you being more expressive of your emotions. And if you feel like you are already very expressive of your emotions, if there is a lot of emotional reactivity going on, like you let your emotions get the best of you, you tend to have emotional outbursts, what you don't see coming is you having a better, I don't know if that's the correct way to put it, but having a better management over your emotions. Because I'm seeing this dragon as representing or personifying those very intense emotions or intense reactions. And this knight over here, this warrior, is personifying mental awareness, mindfulness. Because I am getting a very strong air energy or vibe from this knight over here. Yeah, so what I'm seeing here is someone living with their emotions, learning how to feel through them, learning how to work with them, understanding what they're all about, not fearing them, not trying to suppress them, not trying to control them, or not allowing for the emotions to control them, meaning, you. Yeah, but with the key term assertion here, and then with the first house being the house of self, I do see you being more certain about the way that you feel. Like you not being so confused about your intentions or your feelings, your emotions. Like you having a better understanding as to what is coming up for you, why you are feeling a certain way. Yeah, and the reason why this is coming up for love and relationships is because I feel like this inner shift here is creating a shift in your relationships. Because, for example, if you felt really intense emotions in your connections or relationships, and you feared these intense emotions, and because you fear them, your first reaction was to, suppress them or run away from them, that could have manifested in your connections or relationships as you being someone who was distant or detached or someone who was emotionally unavailable. Yeah, so there being a shift where you are no longer suppressing or running away from your emotions, and that will result in you showing up differently in your connections and your relationships. Being more emotionally available, you being more open to talking about your feelings, you being more open about letting others know when you are not feeling so well, and so forth. Yeah, and the other thing that you don't see coming is you feeling okay with approaching others. Like you feeling okay with being affectionate with others. Because Aries can be very passionate, and I don't know if this is true or this is known of the zodiac sign Aries, but the way that I am picking up on this energy right now is Aries representing transparency. Like if they're excited, they're excited. If they like someone, they like someone. If they don't like someone, they don't like someone. They can't hide that. And so that's what I feel like you don't see coming when it comes to yourself. Like you not being able to hide how you genuinely feel about things or people, and you not wanting to do that anyways. Because I do get this feeling that at some point there was a lot of hesitation in terms to letting others know how you felt about them, especially if you felt some strong affection for them, because there was a fear of rejection. Yeah, and so that fear of rejection kept you from showing affection to others or expressing your genuine feelings towards others. And it could have led to isolation, or it could have created some distance in your relationships. And so what you don't see coming is you, like I said, being very forthcoming. So you're not hesitating to let your loved ones know that you love them. You don't hesitate to say I love you when you want to say I love you and you mean it. You don't hesitate to show affection when it comes naturally to you, when you feel inspired to do so. Because the other thing I'm getting from Sun and Aries is like inspired action. Yeah, and I do get the vibe, it might not be true for everyone, but I do get the vibe that for the majority of you who chose this group, your love language is physical touch. But because, again, there could have been that strong fear of rejection, you held back in expressing that love language of yours. And so you kind of denied yourself of something very natural to you and of something that you needed or longed for, which was like that physical affection, that physical touch. Yeah, because also I'm thinking that the first house could be representing like the body. And so, yeah, what you don't see coming is you being more accepting of your love language. You know, like if you feel inspired to hug your mom or your dad, you don't wait for a reason to do so. You just do it. Of course, because we're talking about like physical contact, one always needs to be aware and mindful and respectful of consent. Yeah, so we're not disregarding that. Yeah, and I know this might sound very strange, but what you don't see coming is you being more comfortable with rejection. You know, because I can't sugarcoat things, lie to you and say that you will never experience rejection, because it's bound to happen sometime or another. So what you don't see coming is you being aware that one rejection can't be generalized. One person's response doesn't have anything to do with what will happen in the future in terms to everyone else. It just has to do with that one person. And so I feel like this awareness helps you with being even more confident with taking initiative, with approaching others, with putting yourself out there. Yeah, instead of waiting or assuming or not even trying. Yeah. And maybe you're wondering, why is all of this coming up for love and relationship? And I feel like the reason why it's coming up for this area of life is because I feel like this mindset shift or attitude shift has a huge impact in your connections and your relationships. Because one of the things I'm getting from this card is that for those of you who are single or who tend to be closed off, and not only like in terms to like romantic relationships, but also in terms to platonic relationships, like in general, you tend to be closed off. This is allowing for you to open up, you know, to be open to the ups and downs that come with any relationship and connection. And so, yeah, what I'm seeing here is you allowing yourself to experience relationships, all types of relationships in all their glory, the good and the not so good. And that is really opening you up to a lot of connections. And it's also allowing for you to get to know yourself better and to get to know what your boundaries are. Because I am getting strong vibes of boundaries here. And not only knowing what your boundaries are, but knowing how to implement them. Because we often talk about boundaries, but I know firsthand that implementing boundaries can be very difficult, especially if we are used to people pleasing, especially if we tend to be quite passive or passive aggressive, or we have difficulty standing up for ourselves or speaking up for ourselves. And so what I'm seeing here is you knowing how to communicate your boundaries. With assertion is you demonstrating assertive communication skills. You know, not keeping silent about what bothers you, not keeping silent when someone is crossing the line, especially in your relationships and in your connections. Yeah, and because we do have a lot of red here, it's reminding me of like red flags. So I feel like you're being more open to exploring new relationships and connections because you are more aware of, at least for you, what those red flags are. And then you having this assertion, confidence or courage to say no to a relationship or a connection when it has crossed that line or when it isn't working out. Yeah, so if you have people-pleasing tendencies, what you don't see coming is you coming out of those people-pleasing tendencies. You being comfortable with having other people being uncomfortable. You know, because when we set boundaries, when we say no, it's gonna make some people uncomfortable. It's gonna disappoint some people because they're not getting what they expected from us. And so in order to have like those boundaries, we must first be okay with letting others down or disappointing others. You know, not because we want to, not because that's our intention, but because we are protecting ourselves, because we are looking out for our well-being. And so that's what I'm seeing here. Like, this is you being comfortable with putting yourself first every now and then, and with speaking up. And so I see you taking a more active participant role in your relationships. And because the first house is about the self. You have a stronger sense of self when it comes to your connections and your relationships. You're not as easily influenced by your connections or relate your sense of worth or value based on your relationships. You are very grounded in yourself. Like mentioned previously, you know who you are, what it is that you want, and you are feeling whole within yourself. I did mention how the Sun in Aries could be representing someone, so I just want to pull out a clarifier just to verify that or confirm it. Okay. So we have the Six of Swords, number 29, the mouse. Yeah, so this Sun in Aries could be representing someone that you will be standing up to, or someone that maybe you will be creating some type of boundary or distance with. Yeah, because the Six of Swords in tarot represents transition, moving forward, moving on, moving into calmer waters. So this person that you are creating some distance with, or maybe even moving away from, is someone that you had a turbulent relationship with or connection. It's someone who often crossed your boundaries or took over the connection in some way. Like they were the ones usually calling the shots, or maybe they often ignored your desires, your needs. Yeah, and this created some imbalance in the relationship itself. And so I do feel like this is representing someone who you will be walking away from or moving on from. And because we do have the mouse here, this could even be someone who tended to share with others what you privately shared with them. Like they lacked consideration for you and your needs and what you asked of them. Yeah, I also feel like this is someone who tended to overlook you. Yeah, so like I said, this is you standing up for yourself. This is you moving away from people who didn't have your best interests at heart, or who often disrespected you and weren't showing any signs of changing their behavior or of wanting to better the relationship or the connection that you had with them. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing here. But now I'm going to move on to career, finances, and our studies. That was fast. So we have 2 cards. Wow, and we have Saturn in Scorpio, the 8th house with inheritance, and we have Jupiter in Aquarius, the 11th house with the key term and innovation. So this could be very literal when it comes to your financial situation. You could be receiving an inheritance, inheriting a property or material possessions. But because we also have the card of innovation, I did mention how you will be creating something big, something that is going to be quite impactful. And I feel like these 2 cards are confirming that, because with innovation, this is you creating something new, something original. And whatever it is that you are creating, it's going to bring you a lot of financial wealth and abundance. So much so that it could be passed down to further generations. Or the other thing I'm getting is you are going to be receiving a lot of recognition and praise for whatever it is that you will be doing, that it will go down in history. Like your children will know about this, and your children's children will know about this, or the future generations that are to come will know about this. Also, because we have an object in this card, it could be that the very thing that you are creating will be passed down to generations. So I did speak about, some of you possibly writing a book or publishing a book. And, books are objects, things, literary works that last several generations. And so whatever it is that you are creating is something that is going to be seen by future generations. It's going to be available for years and years to come. Yeah, and then we do have Aquarius here, which it's the original thinker, the star of the zodiac wheel. So again, whatever it is that you're doing, creating, sharing with the world is going to be seen by many. It's going to be appreciated by many, and it's possibly going to bring a lot of enlightenment to others. What I'm getting from this innovation card is creating something or providing some important information that assists with efficiency or brings aid or support to others. So I'm being reminded of the wheel, like the invention of the wheel and how that really helped change things. It assisted with work efficiency and transportation, and it gave way for other inventions, for other inventors to create new things that aimed to help and to support and to advance technology and so forth. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from these two cards, especially with inheritance being here. I definitely feel like whatever it is that you're doing, creating, or helping to create is something that is going to assist not only one generation, but many more generations to come. It's something that's not only going to be used once, but it's going to be used many, many times, or it's going to be brought up over and over and over again. So like, for example, a literary work, it could be referenced over and over again. There could be several interpretations that come from one single literary work, or different adaptations, different versions. It could give way to a new genre or a new style of writing. Yeah, so this definitely feels like something major, something big, and of course this is something that you don't see coming, because I feel like it's possible that when you start working on this or you become a part of this, you won't even know the magnitude of what it is that you are working on, like how important this is. You might just think it's another project, it's another idea. You might not think much of it, and then poof, it surprises you. Yeah, and also Saturn and Jupiter are two very powerful planets. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and growth, abundance and wisdom, and Saturn is the planet of discipline, boundaries, structure, responsibility. Because I did speak about you overseeing something, you could feel responsible to see this through, to make sure that this idea comes to life. Or it could be that after whatever this is gains the popularity or recognition that it does, you feel this great sense of responsibility to represent this idea or to let others know what it is about or what it is intended for. But it could be that because this gains so much recognition and it is so successful, you could feel pressured to continue creating or create something else that is as successful or even more successful. Or the other thing I'm getting is feeling pressured to maintain that level of success, to live up to the hype or live up to the expectation. I mean, that could be the case, though honestly, I don't exactly feel it, because we do have Aquarius here, and Aquarius is an energy that marches to the beat of its own drum. Like, it doesn't really care so much about like the structures or the norms or meeting other people's expectations. I mean, Aquarius does like to stand out. They do like to be different. They don't like to be followers, but they don't necessarily like to be leaders either. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from like this card in specific when it comes to the energy of Aquarius. Like, so you might feel pressured to live up to the hype or the expectations, or to maintain this level of recognition, success, or even admiration. But I don't feel like that pressure is going to last very long, because I know this is a symbol for Aquarius. I know it is, but like even the swirls here on the bottom, it's making me think of like waves. So what I'm getting, it's like you might feel pressure at some point, but then you're just gonna go with the flow. You're gonna ride the wave. So you won't feel the need to hold on to anything. And I feel like you won't need to hold on to anything, because whatever it is that you're doing or creating, the benefits of it is going to last you for the rest of your life. At least that's the vibe I'm getting from these cards. The phrase, "you will be set for life," came to mind. So you can just easily ride the wave and everything is going to be okay. There isn't a need for you to create more or do more or to stay relevant. Yeah, that's the message I wanted to come through. Like, there's no pressure here to stay relevant. I'm picking up on authenticity from this innovation card. Like, if this has to do with the public image, like, you can just be yourself, go with your natural changes, ride the waves of your life's cycles, and you will continue to stay relevant. Like, the public will continue to be interested in you or what you are doing. Because what's interesting or appealing about you is your authenticity. It's your personality. It's your interest, whatever you are genuinely interested in at the moment. So I don't necessarily see someone here trying very hard to be liked, or to be accepted, or to be conventional. On the contrary, this is someone just doing them. And then they happen to gain popularity. They happen to gain recognition and admiration from others. Yeah, but the 8th house is the house of transformation, of rebirth. It's also the house of shared finances. So I definitely do see this area of life going through some major transformation, and it's gonna feel very drastic. Like, your status is gonna change drastically. Your life won't be the same. Your financial situation will not be the same. I feel like with the card inheritance, you will have enough to provide for others if you want to. Like, you will have enough to spare. Some of you might even be inspired to like donate your money or invest money to provide for the basic needs of those who don't have access to care or don't have access to certain resources, like such as water. I don't know, but like water keeps coming to mind. Yeah, so I do see you helping others. Like I said, this is something big, and not because you're getting a lot from it, but it's big because it also involves others. Like, the benefits or the rewards that whatever you're doing or creating reaps is not only for you, it will end up being for others as well. At least that's one direction that this can go. Because I don't know why, with this image of a labyrinth, the message, this can go in many different ways, came to mind. So I guess it will depend on each person, what you choose to do with the success, recognition, or financial material abundance that you attained from whatever this is that you're creating or doing. But I do feel like one of the routes that some of you might take will be to help others, to share your abundance with others. Oh, and maybe that's why we got overseeing, because you could end up overseeing a lot of different projects. One project that is coming to mind is housing. Building houses for those who need somewhere to stay or to live, or building affordable houses. Or you could be overseeing an environmental project, cleaning a river or a lake or an ocean, something like that. And you could be like the one donating the money, or the one who established this organization or this nonprofit. Or you could end up being a co-founder of projects such as these. Yeah, but like I said, that's one route that I'm seeing some of you taking. Some of you could end up taking the route of, wanting to create more, wanting to do more, fishing for new ideas, because I'm looking at this and it's making me think of a fishing rod. Others of you could end up riding the wave of fame. Yeah, so it will depend. It will depend on the individual and what their priorities are at this stage in their life, what they value. Yeah, but the 11th house is the house of friendships and close relationships. This is also the house of hopes and dreams and of humanitarian causes. Yeah, so some of you could end up being humanitarians or philanthropists, or if you are already humanitarians, you could continue on this path even after you have reached this level of success and recognition and achievements. But The other thing I'm getting from the 11th house is that, as mentioned, I do feel like whatever it is that you're doing, you're creating, you will be creating it with others, because this is the house of friendships and relationships. So this could end up being a collaboration or a group team effort. Or like I said, it could be something that is shared. So you could be the one helping someone achieve their dreams. So I did give that example of a publisher and a writer, an author, right? So let's say maybe you're an editor or you are a publisher and you help someone publish their work and it ends up being a huge success. And so you share the rewards of that success. So I do see that you will be sharing this limelight, these financial rewards and benefits, this wealth, this success with someone else or with others. Yeah, the other thing I'm getting, it's like a song that does very well. And so it involves the singer, the lyricist, the producer. Yeah, like there's a lot of people involved in it, but everybody gets their fair share. That's what I'm especially getting with the card Inheritance. Everybody gets their fair share. And maybe that's why this card of assertion came up for relationships and connections, because like this was speaking about you standing up for yourself, you not keeping quiet. And so I feel like you will be making sure that you are getting your fair share, that everybody who worked on this is being taken into account. Nobody is being left out. This could even be like a podcast that you start with a group of friends that does very well. Yeah, because I feel like for some, what is bringing you much success, it's not like an object or something that you create, but it could be something that you share, like knowledge or wisdom, advice, guidance, entertainment, and it does very well. It helps a lot of people because we do have the 11th house here, so I feel like it ends up helping a lot of people. So it is something new, it is something original, it is something out there. It might even take some time to stick, like when it is released, when it does come out, when it is starting to garner some attention, there might be some resistance to it. It might not get immediate popularity, though I do feel like it will gain some level of popularity, but maybe it won't be like on a large scale until a little bit after. Because I do feel like people would need to become familiarized with it, or maybe even comfortable with it, because it is something so original. It is something very, very new. But I do see a lot of people taking a liking and an interest to it. And I feel like the more the time passes, the more popularity it gains, or the more relevant it becomes, something like that. Yeah, and I know this is supposed to be a whip, but I keep thinking of it as a fishing rod. Yeah, so this is definitely an idea that is coming to you. Or someone could be pitching you an idea and then you decide to invest in it, go with it, or work on it, and then it does very well. Oh, and the other thing I'm seeing with Inheritance and the 11th house is that after you have established a name for yourself, achieved success, recognition, or acquired financial wealth, you will be helping your friends, colleagues, or others in achieving their dreams or goals. You could either be investing in their ideas, or you could be opening doors of opportunities for people who are barely starting on their path. An example that is coming to mind is that of an established musician with a large following who collaborates with or features upcoming artists and their songs, with the purpose of giving these new artists exposure and opportunity for them to showcase their talents or gain new audiences. The last thing that I'm seeing here, and it's more like advice or guidance, is that all ideas require some level of commitment and effort. And so for this idea to reach the level of success that we are seeing here, it will require for you to commit to it and put in a fair amount of effort. We did speak about feeling a responsibility to see this through. So some discipline when it comes to this will be required. Yeah, okay, but now I'm going to move into personal and or spiritual growth. Oh, that was fast. And we have the third house with Sun in Gemini and the key term versatility. Okay, so we have 2 sun signs. So some of you could be a Gemini sun. And if so, this could be serving as confirmation. But if not, don't worry about it. This is simply representing the overall energy when it comes to this area of life. So something that you don't see coming is you being more flexible, you being more versatile. Yeah, so you are being more open to seeing from different perspectives, different point of views. And you're not so keen to easily dismiss beliefs or notions that go against your own. Yeah, because the vibe I get from this card is of someone who has reached this point in their journey or their life where they understand that they don't know everything and that there isn't an ultimate truth for everything or anything. That there are just different interpretations, different points of views. And it's interesting how the person in the innovation card and the person in the versatility card, they are facing each other. They are looking towards one another. So I feel like it's this versatility, this flexibility that allows for this idea to come through, or that allows for you to give this idea a shot, a chance. Because it could be that before or right now, if this idea were to come to you, because it is so out there, it's so original, it's so eccentric, you might not give it your time of day. You might dismiss it as foolishness, or you might think it too strange, too weird for it to work out. But with this versatility and flexibility, your mind is more open. You are able to see from a higher perspective. You are unbiased and less judgmental. And so you are more willing to try this out or give it a shot or see what it's all about. Also, with the energy of flexibility, I'm seeing a spectrum. So if you currently struggle with a black and white mindset or mentality, what you don't see coming is you having a broader perspective, realizing that things aren't so black and white, that there is an in between, and a before and an after. Rather than right or wrong, there is a spectrum. And I feel like that is opening more doors of opportunity for you. That is allowing for you to discover more things about yourself and more things about the world. And it is allowing for you to create new connections and connections that will end up helping you a lot, especially in terms to your career, your finances, and so forth. Yeah, because you know what? The person in the innovation card and the person in the versatility card could even be representing different people. Like unique minds coming together to create something unique. And I feel like for those of you who are spiritually inclined, this will help with your spiritual evolution because it will help improve your connections with others and with the world. Because this is you accepting and seeing that you are not a one-man show. That destiny, fate, divine orchestration does not work through only one person. There isn't a chosen one. It's an interconnectedness. It's a web. We all play a significant role. We all influence each other or affect each other in some way. And so what I am seeing here, I will be honest, it's like fate or destiny or alignment. Like you are meant to work with certain people. And the more open you are working with others, the more you are allowing for these people that you are meant to work in to come into your life or for you to align with them. And because we do have someone here who seems to be a performer and an entertainer, maybe one of the people that you will end up working with is an entertainer or an artist, a performer, or they aspire to be. Now, since we do have the key term versatility, I do see you being known or recognized as a multi-talented, well-rounded individual. Maybe you already know that you are multi-talented. So if that is the case, then instead of this being something that you don't see coming, this could be a situation in which it is the world or a specific industry or community that doesn't see you coming. The phrase taking the world by storm came to mind. Yet, whether this is you surprising the world with your already various existing talents or not, I do see you trying your hand at different things. And the thing that you may not see coming is you excelling at a lot of them. I do keep getting examples of someone excelling at different areas when it comes to one arena. So For example, in the entertainment industry, this would be someone who is a talented singer, dancer, performer, songwriter, producer, and a fashion icon. They are known as an all-around entertainer and well-rounded artist. Now, for those of you interested in divination, I do see you being very skilled or knowledgeable in more than one divination form. If you are interested in tapping into your psychic abilities, I am seeing you being connected to more than one. So what you don't see coming is you connecting with spirit and your intuition in various new and different ways. I am also seeing an ability to switch from one skill to another with ease and on command. Also, in general, I do see you being open and willing to explore and try new things and adapting or learning fairly quickly, which then results in you being quite versatile. But the other thing I'm getting here in terms of personal growth, I do see you feeling more connected with your body. Yeah, one of the things that you don't see coming is you actually enjoying physical exercise or enjoying something that has to do with physical activities. But it does feel like a niche thing. So something I can think of is like pole dancing or something to do with gymnastics maybe. Yeah, but definitely something that you don't see coming is you being very familiarized with your body and like working every muscle of your body. You feeling quite healthy, quite fit, and being physically fit. And I'm also seeing traveling for a lot of you guys. But traveling to not so very well known places. So it's not necessarily traveling to like touristic spots. Yeah, because I'm noticing like a little village here. So you could be traveling to like the countryside or to small villages, small places, but that are rich in culture, rich in history, rich in art and in beauty. And because we do have the third house here, which is the house of communication, one of the other things that you don't see coming is you being fluent in more than one language. Yeah, because I am also getting versatility in terms to your communication. So you will definitely be learning a new language. And I feel like more than one new language. And it could be a result of your career or what it is that you are going to be doing or creating. Or it could be because whoever it is that you will be working with, they do speak a different language from you, and so in order to better communicate with them, you might feel inspired to learn their language. I'm also seeing a change in how you dress. Yeah, so if you are used to always dressing the same or going for the same tones, the same color scheme, what you don't see coming is you trying something completely new and different, something out there. But I feel like your sense of style will be constantly changing. Like maybe for some, what you don't see coming is that if you are currently uncomfortable with trying new things, in the future, you will be uncomfortable with doing the same thing always. Yeah, but those are all the messages I am seeing here. So now I just want to point out the zodiac signs because they could be representing important seasons. So we have Aries, Aquarius, Scorpio, Gemini. So this could be important seasons. But I also want to point out the numbers because they could be representing months. So we have the number 1, and that's January. We have the number 3, that's March. We have 8, that's August. And we have 11, and that's November. I do want to point out that I am seeing a specific date, and that is August 11th. So that could be a specific date for some. I am not pointing out any year because this is a timeless reading. So I'm focusing more on the months and the seasons. But okay, now to wrap up this reading, I just want to pull out one last oracle card to kind of get the overarching energy or message of what it is that you don't see coming. Card, please. And we have fish with pay attention to your dreams. Okay, so some of you guys could be experiencing some prophetic dreams, or you could be receiving a lot of insight or messages through your dreams. But I'm also interpreting dreams as in your dreams, your goals. So I feel like this message is saying to pay attention to your ideas. And you know how I was going on and on about a fishing rod and fishing for ideas, and then an image of a fish actually showed up. So I feel like this fish is symbolizing the idea, and universe is simply saying, this is for you, this is meant for you, this is your catch. So don't hesitate to reel it in. But I do want to read the guidebook message associated with this card. So we have fish with the message, the energy behind this card is heavily influenced by the Pisces zodiac sign. The Pisces zodiac symbol is two fish swimming in opposite directions. These two fish represent the balance between physical and metaphysical, fantasy from reality, and subconscious from conscious. Pisces are referred to as the dreamers of the zodiac because of their close connection to celestial realms. The clarity that you seek will be revealed to you in your dreams. Dreaming is one of the many ways that unseen energies, like our spirit guides, communicate with us. Be sure to record your dreams and their meanings. Yeah, so Pisces season could also be of significance, or someone who is a Pisces could be of significance. I'm getting Pisces rising in specific. Yeah, but it could be that you will be receiving information about what this idea is, what this thing that you will be creating is through your dreams. So pay attention to your dreams, the ones that happen when we fall asleep. And it could also be that you will be dreaming about the people that you will be working with or collaborating with. And also, I feel like this message here, pay attention to your dreams, is symbolizing that one of the things that you don't see coming is a dream of yours coming true. Yeah, but those are all the messages we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance and clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. If you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end. And thank you to all of you who took a moment to watch the ads, since that is the most simplest way to support me and to support this channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. But that is all for now. Wishing you a wonderful rest of your day or night, depending on when you are watching this video, and until the next moment, bye bye.